All right. Hello and welcome to the Nightmare Fuel podcast. I am Reese, and as always, being joined by Hagbard Celine.
Hello.
And we're being joined again by a very special guest. Atheism is unstoppable. Welcome.
I'm special in what way?
Always.
Okay. That seems like a loaded word, but thank you. I'm happy to be back. This is a return visit, which means I did something right in the first time.
Yeah, we weren't just like, ban him. Never again.
And our goal tonight is to reach 300 subs, and I'm going to twist the arm of my subs to get us to that mark if I have to.
300
Well,
subs
thank
are
you.
bust.
We appreciate that. So, what's been going on, Devin, with your channel recently?
Well, it pains me because we just had a 10, 15-minute conversation, the three of us, and it wasn't recorded, therefore it doesn't count, therefore I can't get any bonus points for it from the wider public. So all of those things that I said that made you guys laugh and think were all for naught. I might as well have just, flushed them down the toilet. So
True.
I feel aggravated that I would have to come up with new shit, but I'll think about it for a while.
You wasted it on us. For shame.
But you know what it is? There is something to that. Have you ever gone through a period of your life where you didn't take many photos or videos, and you thought, God, that stuff is just sort of faded into the memory now, and
Oh, yeah.
I don't have any mementos of that. Of course, there's the other direction where you take too much and you're constantly taking pics, but it's weird. Like, I haven't taken pictures of just my daily life for a while now.
Yeah, and then it does seem to just recess into the mist then.
There's always
Right.
that fear that if you take too many pictures, you won't be living in the moment. But then you think back and you're like, I was living in the moment, but now I don't even remember the moment.
Yeah, and this applies to the worst case of this is people who go to concerts, like live musical events, and they hold up their little phones trying to record that. Terrible video, terrible audio. It's all like, there's no reason. Just put it down and enjoy the thing. I did it. I'm a culprit. I did it with Snoop Dogg in Rio de Janeiro. And I thought, oh, this is going to be great. I'm going to have this forever. I looked at it for 5 seconds. I was like, this is worthless. I mean, I could find Snoop Dogg videos out there if I want. I don't need to.
There are plenty of them. Some of them are live, some of them are pre-recorded. You've got options.
And it's hard, man. Let me tell you, you don't even have to be a weightlifter to realize that, you hold up a little phone above your head for 10 minutes, the blood's going to start leaving the arm and you're going to start getting the shakes. It's not easy, dude.
Yeah, no, it's not.
It's a struggle.
For sure.
On the front lines.
Now, what sort of goodies do you have lined up for us tonight?
Oh, this first one that I wanted to start with was taken from one of Dave Rubin's.
Oh, wait, I want to shift to one more with you. So you mentioned in your submission.
Sure, just start. That's fine, video. That's fine.
Wow.
Yeah, we need to fix that, but whatever.
Wait a minute. Give me a snapshot. I didn't watch this video yet.
Neither have I, if it's any consolation.
Oh, who's this chick? Cutie.
She's
Look at her hair, though.
she's from the UK, I guess, and she's one of Dave Rubin's fans.
Okay, and what was your impression of the overall video? Like, what were the takeaways?
I mean, she seemed fine other than this one portion, talking about regressive left, anti-feminism, stuff like that.
Oh, she pushed back.
Yes, and in this portion, she's going to talk about how there's an element within the atheist community she doesn't like.
Oh, juicy! You've lined this one up for us, haven't you?
Yeah, this ought to be good.
It's going to be hard to go against this girl. She looks like there's an actress from the show Vikings. I mean, she looks like she's right out of a Game of Thrones casting right here.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
hair looks like it's from the 70s.
You might say she might have a lot going for her. Or?
She's not that young. Is she? But
I'll get back to you on that.
I mean, it's a cousin it situation. I mean, she's a couple bangs away from a cousin it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and I would say though, before we start, that Dave Rubin was insanely brave for doing a fan hangout and just letting schmucks on. That was ballsy.
I'm sure he had editorial control.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would like to see the ones he rejected. I mean, that's where the real show is.
People send in submissions like, nope, next.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Bring it on, man.
All right, let's bring on the pain.
Oh, wait, I want to shift to one more with you. So you mentioned in your submission that there's a form of atheism also that you don't like. And now I've had a lot of atheists on here. I'm pro-atheist and I'm pro-logic and reason and all that stuff. But you think that some of the movement, so to speak, has taken a turn that you don't like. Can you tell me about that?
Sure, of course. I'm an atheist myself. Huge fan of the secular movement. I think we are very, very fortunate to be living, in mostly a secular world with exceptions, and I'm glad we are doing a lot of work towards fixing that. However, I do think there is a sinister smugness in the atheist movement, and I do think it's...
I like her worldview. We live in mostly a secular world.
No.
In England, I mean, we live in an insane world. We live in an insane asylum filled with mostly religious people. And even if the government is technically secular, it's like, I mean, look at Turkey. Turkey is one of the most religious countries in the world. So yeah, well done for being secular.
Secular, moderate Turkey.
Right. And I have a freaky suspicion that she's talking about me right now.
Yeah, well,
or I would fit whatever she's talking about.
Either that or she's talking about the other stereotype that atheism has right now, which is the neck-bearded, fat, fedora-tipping atheist.
Mm-hmm.
It's because you talk down, Devin, to the religious.
Yeah. No, but I think talk at all. So I think she's one of these people that says, look, don't be confrontational. Just in your heart know that there's no God, but just let bygones be bygones. Live and let live, people. Don't go against the institution of religion. If you do, you're an evil and you're the problem now.
Yeah.
So she's not an anti-theist. She's a pussy atheist.
Yeah.
Literally.
Billy's talking in the chat, and I discovered this clip from him, and this girl does fit what he would call a porch atheist.
Mm. Really?
Yes.
Racist.
Racist.
So racist.
You know what's great though? And this is a girl, she goes to a good school, right? She is attractive. I don't think she's used to being confronted. What guy is gonna try to shame this girl and say, no, you're wrong? Because usually any guy in her proximity is trying to fuck her.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
And she knows that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right. She has very limited exposure to people who don't want to. Well, we all want to fuck her, but we don't expect to fuck her.
Yeah.
So now we can actually address her bad ideas.
Yeah, and I
that's
think
really
that
a culture shock.
I think that shocks so many of these younger women when a guy just looks at them and goes, "No, you're wrong."
Yes. Yeah, but I was talking about this the other night. I think some of the advances we've made in video games and just the MGTOW movement and the porn industry has allowed guys to not be so desperate that they have to spend every waking moment trying to get laid. Instead, now they can actually have an argument with an attractive woman. That is social suicide. Imagine trying to have an argument with an attractive woman in high school. Who would do that?
Yeah.
Why, God, why?
What lunatic would do that? It would take an absolute autist. I mean, you'd literally have to be autistic.
I would take that dude and just grab him by the scruff of his neck and say, look, you might be right on this. You might win this argument, but think of what else you're doing. You're ruining your chances with this woman and all of her hot friends.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to go and spread bad shit about you. Refrain.
Yeah. Do not do. Yeah,
What's at
reframe.
stake?
Yeah, you got to reframe that argument.
Jesus.
Oh, for sure.
it's connected to some of the far left, because it's very interesting how some of these people swap, say, a religion for their own ideology, a fervent ideology based on the patriarchy or based on imaginary things, and it's very...
Oh no, she's just a crazy person.
Wait a minute, that was kind of funny. She said the patriarchy and then said imaginary things. If only she could merge those two things together and realize they're one and the same.
Yeah, did she not realize she just said the patriarchy was technically on the same level as imaginary things?
And I love how, I mean, her issue clearly is sexism, right? Is that clear at this point?
Yeah.
So she has a chip on her shoulder about men in general. And when she's talking about the, quote, atheist community that is sinister, she's talking about the men.
Yeah.
Because online, it's 90-something% men when you're talking atheism.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and
You're
most
talking
of
about outspoken atheism.
yeah, and most of the female atheists would then go on to say how spiritual they are. To be fair.
Spiritual, but not religious.
Yes.
That kind.
Gross.
Yeah. God. I mean,
Porch
that's.
atheists.
I think I actually respect agnostics more than the spiritual but not religious folk,
Yeah.
which says a lot.
Yeah.
For sure.
religion like. So in an essence, someone suddenly swapping religion, and I'm not anti-religion, I might be atheist, but I'm not anti-religion at all. I think there's a lot to be said for some of the cultural things, like the Anglican Church for the United Kingdom has given...
Okay, I don't like the way she's tucking her hair in the back of her her ear. It's making her ear stick out, and that could have lasting impact on her fuckability. So I'm just going to throw that out there as a tip for her. But okay, one of the problems is this idea that people left religion and then picked up sexism or something else, which she's equating to religion. That's not what has happened at all. In fact, she has no beef with the topic of religion at all. I mean, why even bring up atheism? Her whole point is I'm against MRAs, or I'm against people who, I don't know, uphold the patriarchy. That's it. That's all she's coming from.
Yeah.
So it's actually a red herring to even mention atheism here.
Yeah, well, a lot of the feminists do that. They've become atheists because all Abrahamic religions are patriarchal. So the first thing isn't that there is no God. The first thing is that God must not be a man. That's really the first step they've taken.
It makes them pretty useless allies in any kind of fight against, theocracy or whatever.
Yeah, actually, you would think that we would be allies, atheists and feminists.
Yeah.
On that level,
We should be.
Fighting.
That's the problem.
Yeah, we're on the front line fighting against the most misogynistic institutions known to man. So, why don't we get applause for that? Let's hear it for the boy.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well,
atheists are the first people, like atheists online are the first people to be called sexist, because most of the atheists now are making anti-feminist videos.
Yeah.
Right, because as an atheist and as somebody who enjoys intellectual debates of any kind, I am in a larger fight against stupidity. And religion just happens to have a monopoly on stupidity and influence in our world. But this third wave feminism is right up there. So they're stupid too, and we're getting around to them.
Yeah.
And so they're not off the hook.
It's like, how dare you as an atheist address any other topic? Just talk about atheism all the time.
Yeah, she's basically saying, look, I agree with you on the no God stuff, but I have my other agenda that you're not on board with, so you are in the religion of disagreeing with me. It's just a weird thought process.
And I mean, she's not even on board with us there, because she doesn't believe in God, but she's not anti-religious. She doesn't seem to be able to connect the dots. It's pretty much like saying the same thing.
How old do you think this girl is? College age?
Oh boy,
Early college.
maybe 20.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably freshman or sophomore in college.
Yeah, total Sansa Stark here.
Given us culture, it's given us art, it's given us
It's given us culture, it's given us art. No, we've done those things in spite
What else?
of religion. We've done those
religion.
things in spite of religion most of the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, humans who happen to be religious gave us that. But
Yes.
explosion of things we can't deny.
Totally hear you.
Exactly. So one must be careful when criticizing
come on, Rubin.
belief,
Rubin.
which is
Hold on. Ruben, you pussy. Ruben just lets these guests roll over him. He's just such a nice guy. He does not want to come across as cantankerous in any way, because this entire show is a resume for him. This is his reel that he's going to show to some network eventually and say, look, I did this show, and here's me being a genial, nice dude to a woman who was barking out some craziness. Stand up for yourself, dude. Just put her in her place already. That's why guys like Gavin McInnes, you go on Gavin's show, he's going to put you down. If you say something stupid, I don't care who you are, how popular you are, he's not going to figure, like, this might reflect badly on me if I, am angry with this person or raise my voice. God damn, Ruben, if he doesn't push back at all during this, I will lose respect for this guy.
Oh, he's not going to. I mean, like you were saying, he's talking to a moderately attractive woman. He's not.
Yeah, but he's gay. He doesn't even want to fuck.
You imply that gay men don't still have the biological urge not to attack women. Most of them do.
Yeah. To attack or have sex with.
It's unfortunate. Yeah, Dave does that.
totally fine and not the believer, and the benefits of what that belief has given us. But I do also think that some of these people go a very Marxist route. So they do believe that religion is the opiate of the people, say, and they completely exchange logic and reason for their own ideology. So it's not like they're an atheist that has become an atheist because they've discovered science or they've, read more of Dawkins. They've become an atheist sort of as a result of the ideology through the cultural Marxism that is being perpetuated in a lot of the academia nowadays.
Wait,
what? What? Is she talking about regressives?
Yes.
Oh, God.
I think
she's got that lazy-eyed look right there.
Yeah, ironically,
I think it's a bit of projection.
Yeah, ironically, I mean, she must be on our side then. I don't understand what because she's complaining.
she's not talking about it. She's talking about regressives. But
Yeah.
it has nothing to do with their atheism. This is not. They're regressive before the issue of God. Forget the issue of God. They were always regressive. They were always wrong on those issues. It's not a substitute for their belief in.
And regressive atheists have her same mentality on this of, oh, I am anti. I don't personally believe in this, but it's done some good for the culture, and people can be religious. And like, no, that is the definition of being a regressive atheist.
And she mentioned the patriarchy. I mean, the regressives are not part of that. They're not the ones that she's going to be in conflict with over that issue.
Yeah,
they're the ones that are going to roll over.
I don't think she really knows what she's coming off on here.
Mm-hmm.
I think she noticed a chance to get on Dave Rubin and did it.
Well, this is what I love. A young girl like this gets up and says, "I think that this and this and I think." Wait, you think really? How often have you thought? How many months have you been thinking? I mean, let's break it down. I can count that shit on my hands and toes.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously.
Adult thought, like seriously, like adult post-pubescent thought.
Yeah.
You have a limited amount of it, so please be aware of that.
Yeah, a handful of months. A handful of months at best on her.
True.
Ruben's just gonna sit there and nod. Yep, it has Marxist roots or something or other.
Yes,
That's
I
how I
agree with you. I mean,
Well-
just give me at least, just a semblance of conflict. Can we have that?
No.
Isn't that what discussion is for?
Yeah, he doesn't need to come on and be a complete dick to her. He can just say, like,
Right.
he could even just ask a follow-up question, like, oh, what do you mean by that?
Just say, hey, let me play devil's advocate for a split second.
Yeah, well, I wish he could do what like Sargon does, where he asks
Look
really
at Reese
leading
pausing with her
questions.
face like that, by the way.
That was me. But it's
Look at that intention.
obviously it's part of the patriarchy to make her have a blowjob face. I mean, that's
Mhm.
inevitable.
That would be like a sort of a rice noodle shape of a dick, though.
Yeah.
You'd have to kind of jam it in there.
Yeah, that actually looks like the face of like, ooh, that's not good.
Yeah, that's a pad CU. If any Thai food experts out there. Go ahead.
that's why I'm worried about that route. But for the most part, I'm perfectly joyous at a secular movement, so that's fine with me.
All right, that's the end.
Yeah, wow.
Bye.
I'm joyous in the secular movement.
That didn't sound creepy at all.
Kill me now. You know what we should do, Hagbard?
What's up?
We should do the It's Okay to Hate Islam, our old friend.
Okay.
That's an impressive archive of videos.
Ah. Well, luckily that wasn't
we like
deafening.
to stockpile, just in
I
case.
see.
Sorry for anyone wearing headphones.
We say that almost every show.
Yep. Yeah, we don't exactly volume balance the random videos we download, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. This is a rinky-dink show. Get used to it.
We cuckoo now. Yeah.
Oh my god, this guy.
What's up, guys? It's me, Kareem. I don't have a.
Hi, Kareem. This is gonna be
Oh,
good.
no.
He's got lazy eyes too.
I know it.
Yeah.
Okay, can we have a little quick straw poll here? Gay or not gay?
Oh, definitely closeted. There's no question, and it's because of his strict beliefs in Islam that he can't do it.
Yeah, I'm thinking he falls into that category.
Yeah, way too much care and effort given here.
I mean, if you're wearing a necklace, you have a groomed beard like that, and you have yellow and pink as the color scheme that you're working with.
And the slightly off-kilter hat. You see the slightly off-kilter, not straight back.
Douchey.
That's a little in sync style, but the gay in sync.
Yeah.
The what's his name? What's that guy from NSYNC's name?
Joey.
Yeah.
I think you're thinking about Joey.
Whoa, no, Joey Fatone. No, he's not gay.
No, but I think this guy looks like him.
Oh yeah, he is. He is the embodiment of Joey Fatone mixed with the other dude. They'll know in the chat.
It looks
You guys
like
are all
mostly they're
closet
saying
NSYNC.
it looks like mostly they're saying he's either gay or a cuck. That appears to be the.
I think he's a schmuck. Okay.
Yeah, he's so gay he can't even sit straight. I think.
Cuckoo. He's cuckoo now.
All right, let's see what he has to say.
regular vlog for you today, but I'm gonna have a little talking session with you guys, if you don't mind. Just want to bring up a couple of things.
Is this an older video of his?
Yeah. This
Yeah.
one's a little older, but it's whatever.
Yeah, because his production values have at least gone up. I'll give him that.
Yeah, for sure. He used to just do shitty vlogs.
Yeah, this is depressing.
want to talk about a couple of things, things that are bothering me, things that are just going on in the world right now. Aside from a few things that are going on in the news, it's really upsetting to see all that stuff happening.
How specific?
But okay, I already know. I could give the rest of this speech for him.
Yeah.
I love this shit so much. Like, it's a lot of bad stuff. You know, I'm against terrorism and all that, but it's not all. You cannot blame a whole group of people. I guarantee he's about to say that.
Yeah.
Or else you'll get flagged down for hate speech.
Yeah, it's like me. But I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he's going to make some amazing points that I've never heard of before.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's like, it takes you back. I don't even want to mention their name. I don't even want to talk about what they're doing because it's not good to publicly, give them, a view. They're just because, that's what they want to do. But it takes me back to like 2004 or 5 or around 2007.
Get it straight.
Wow.
But
Wow.
I like that he basically admits to his philosophy, which is ignore problems.
Yeah.
Don't publicize something that is negative because then you're acknowledging it's real.
Yeah,
That's
he's
his
like, I don't want to
process.
acknowledge this because it will give these people a platform, get their message out. Like, if something that big happened in the news, you kind of have to acknowledge it.
Well, there's that, but he thinks that his way of solving the problem is just not to talk about it. And that's at the heart of regressivism. Of course, he's coming from a place of narcissism, which is he's Muslim, his family's Muslim, so he wants to uplift the reputation of Muslims around the globe. And he's beating his chest. He's beating his gay little yellow and pink chest by saying, I know you heard something negative about a group of people that I am associated with, but I'm here to tell you that I'm awesome. And that's essentially what he's about to do.
Yeah, it's the westernized Muslim saying I'm a representation of Islam, which is hilarious.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
the
sure
gay
most-
Muslim, right?
Most Muslims wear pink and yellow Empire Strikes Back shirts.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Mhm.
I don't know, man. It was around those years. I don't even want to remember. Where things like this were happening, People killing in the name of religion.
Time out. Oh, God. The zoom back from what we're talking about, which is Muslim terror, to religion.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, already, he needs to be stopped, like I did right now, and I refuse to let that slide, that he's going to lump in every other religion. It's not every other religion. And that's already, so he's ignoring the problem to start with, not even going to call it out by name, and now he's going to lump in all religion. Fucking A. This is evasive maneuvers from a desperate man.
Yeah, of course, and that's
People
the
are-
first step of removal. The first step is to say it's religious, violence, and the next step is to say it's extremist violence. So you step it
Yeah,
further and further out of being what the problem is.
It would be like me saying, my cousin, he got arrested for raping and then killing a woman. But before I talk about it, I don't want to really talk about the details of it because I don't want to give it more attention than it needs. I think we need to talk about violence of all mammals. Mammals commit acts of violence in nature. I've seen the Discovery Channel. I've seen a gazelle get run down by a lion. So, violence is a problem in the mammal community. That's him equating it to religion. I mean, this is not the topic.
Yeah,
Of course. I mean, those Scientologists always beheading, from what I can tell.
Precisely.
Which is the worst thing ever, man. And I thought we were beyond that because it truly makes me sad, that once again there are people out there.
It's hard to get beyond that when it's plainly written in the book that that's the way you're supposed to behave.
Yeah. Right. Why can't people ignore huge chapters of the book like I do and just sleep with men?
Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah,
only
why-
good Muslim men.
I expect religious violence to end while religion is still pervasive. That makes sense.
For making people hate the religion. And, people who do tons of work to make people accept Islam, to embrace Islam, and to love it, and to try to understand it. There's always something like this that happens again.
So
That's
what's in
unfortunate,
common?
friend.
No, we are understanding it, and it's not about embracing Islam, it's about pissing on Islam. And just to put your channel in jeopardy, let me say, fuck Islam. on
Yeah.
your
Yes, hate speech.
airwaves.
Bring
Yes,
it.
I mean,
Yeah.
justified hate. By the way, there is no word for justified hate. What would you call that? I think we need a word for that, because it's, first of all, hate is not the word. Justified. What is a better word for it?
Condemnation.
Righteous.
Yeah, condemnation of.
Righteous repulsion, is that?
Yes, there it is. Exactly. Normal repulsion. This is like the standard way you should feel about this issue.
Yeah, correct.
And so, and by the way, you could frame it the other way. You could say, look, I stand for everything positive in the world, like humanitarianism or freedom, things like that, democracy, human rights. So you could frame it like that. And if you say those things, by definition, you're against Islam.
Yeah.
So however you want to put it, I mean, it's all the same thing.
Yeah, well, and I
Come
think
after
it's I think it's also funny just because we do a lot of ad hom on here. Look at how tiny those hands are.
But the tiny hand syndrome has been sweeping the nation.
It has.
Creationist Cat has some really tiny hands too.
That's hilarious. That doesn't shock me.
Which I did not want to talk about, and I honestly don't even want to talk about. I just wanted to, because I have.
Well, you're sitting here making a whole goddamn video about it. I hate when people say I don't want to make this video or I wish I didn't do this.
Guys, I really didn't want to come on here, but fuck it, I had to. I just had to get this off my chest.
Again, of course he doesn't want to talk about it. His religion, his group that he identifies with, is a stain on humanity. You think he wants to talk about that? He wants to praise himself and, increase his subs and get flirtatious comments from women or men or whatever he's into.
Or whatever he's into.
The problem can't be me, clearly. I need to distance myself.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
by the way, he's defending his family, and Cenk does the same thing.
Yeah.
It's not just a personal thing, it's his family and his tribe. So it's beyond narcissism. It's like caveman tribalism.
Yeah, and you run into it with some Christians too. You do. You run into somewhere. In my area, I've had discussions and people freak out, and I'm like, and then later I find out one of them was like a Mormon and one was a Jehovah's Witness. So when I said religious people were retarded, you felt bad because you were retarded. You actually believed this shit.
Hey, don't blame me for labeling you correctly.
Yeah, I mean, and Reese knows he's X.
Well, what they hear you saying is, you're saying my father and mother are retarded.
Yes.
My grandmother. You're saying she's a retard. And I'm saying, yes, she is.
Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting point, Hagbard, because I am X. But I mean, if someone were to say like, Reese, when you were religious, you were retarded. I was. Feel free to make that critique. It's true.
Yeah.
We don't need to play nice about it.
Yeah, but also you were a child. I mean, all children are retarded on some technical level.
Yeah, and I mean, when I was when I was hanging out with hood rats and doing the shit I was doing, I was retarded too. I mean, it's just a different kind of retarded.
But here's the other thing, guys. You have to not be so hard on yourselves. Like, I'm a true-blood atheist, but, we can't all be me. But here's the thing. Like, you did not read the entire body of work of Christopher Hitchens when you were 10 and then make a determination based off all the information. Okay, this is what I want to do. No, you were brainwashed and told what to believe, and you just went along with the flow.
Yeah. I never believed in God. I believed in the potentials of communism, which is almost just as bad, so...
Man, did you see a documentary or influenced you?
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Yeah, it had to happen. It had to stop.
Maybe that last chick had a point.
Damn.
People ruining the image of Islam once again.
They're not ruining it. They're perfecting it.
Yeah, Islam has got such a good PR department right now.
It's just a couple bad apples to make it look like shit.
Go interview anybody who's encountered Muslims for the past 1,400 years, and let's check out their Yelp review section. I don't think it's going to be that glowing. When you have Buddhist monks in Myanmar going, yeah, fuck those people, man. I mean, we can't stand them.
Yeah, you know how hard...
To my peaceful Zen meditation.
Do you know how hard you had to push to get fucking Buddhists to be like, all right, that's enough. All right, seriously.
Yep, it's go time. Where are the machetes?
Yeah.
Pissed off the Buddhists.
I mean, that's a lot of weight for a long time.
I agree.
They didn't have enough Zen.
It's hard because when you're sitting there meditating and you're waiting for enlightenment and someone comes along and tells you that you have to pray and do all these other things, it tends to make you irritated, yeah.
You're messing with my Zen.
I was like 30 days from enlightenment.
You realize that Sam Harris spent 6 months in his 20s in absolute silence?
Yeah.
Thinking.
That's crazy.
Like, I've done it for one day in my life. In the Boy Scouts, we had to just do manual labor and not talk for a day. It was Very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Very difficult. Really strange. Try it. I mean, it's almost impossible.
I couldn't. No way.
Really?
Yes.
You feel the urge to speak?
Yes. Just words just come out. This is a challenge.
The thing is, here's the double dip. You can't just not talk. Don't listen to anything. No internet, no TV, nothing. Just silence.
Yeah.
Thinking. Solitary confinement with your own.
I say
It's
I've
horrible.
done it, but it was exactly what you just described. I was in solitary confinement. So, and what
That's
are you
how
gonna do?
go mad.
Yeah, it really is. It's not a pleasant place to be in, but you know, as it is, I guess it was probably for the best.
A mind is a terrible thing to waste or spend time with.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to say it's like it's like I'm giving up. I'll never give up. But in the end, it's like
Never
Give
giving
up
up,
on what?
guys.
So he's like one layer away from realizing his religion's so shit he shouldn't be a Muslim anymore. That's what this is.
Mm.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
these modern secular-ish Muslims are kind of on the cusp of that. It's sad.
Well, what's funny is his version of Islam is so divergent and different than every other version of Islam that, I mean, it's essentially its own religion, and yet he's not confronting the fundamentalist Muslims and saying, hey, people, what you're doing is barbaric and wrong. You should be this kind of Muslim, the one I am, or I've cherry-picked the hell out of it. He's not about that. He's about doing whatever hipster bullshit he's doing in New York, and, oh, but if there's terrorist attack, I will come to the rescue of the entire faith and say, ha, it's not so bad, people. You
Yeah,
have to understand.
because
It's not all
there's
and my
me.
mom.
I exist. My family exists. We're good people. You see.
Like, yeah, who the fuck is this guy to say, like, I am the authority on what Islam is?
Exactly. Dude, it's anecdotal evidence for the win. I mean, that is a trope. Oh, God, I hate to use that word. That word has been bastardized by Anita Sarkeesian. But it is a theme that you see popping up where people just point to some... Dude, I think TJ, the Amazing Atheist, he said, I met a Muslim in Ohio once and it was okay. Like, he wasn't trying to kill me or something. I was like, okay, thank you.
One
Yeah.
time. Yeah, I imagine you're not going to run into a lot of Muslims in Ohio that want to kill you.
No, probably not. Although I wouldn't advise you go to certain areas of Michigan.
There's that.
Hmm.
for people who you keep trying to hold and be like, look, Islam is not like this. Please don't think Islam is like that.
Wait, time out. By the way, what he said right there, he's talking about Westerners.
Yeah.
He's saying, I don't want you to think Islam is... He's not talking to ISIS. He's not talking to the terrorists.
No, he's
Do you
talking
see
to the
the- do you see
bad,
how big-
judgmental people.
It seems like
But do you
such an
see how-
obvious point. No,
But
go
do you
ahead.
see how big of a distinction that is? Because if he said, look, I'm not just telling you guys that Islam isn't that. I'm trying to talk to the Muslims out there. Hey, Muslims, this video is for you. You are doing it wrong. Now, that would be bullshit and bonkers for its own reasons, but at least you would see that he has a little bit more honesty in, first of all, who's doing this and why they're doing it. These are Islamic people.
Well, then we'd be on the same moral playing field. If he would come out and say, I condemn all these extremists, then I'd have to be like, okay, I agree with you. It's an obvious point to make, but it's something.
Yes. You hit the nail on the head. What he doesn't want to do is go down the path of actually criticizing Islam. Because then you have to explain your reasons. Okay, whatever your name is. What is this guy's name?
I have no idea.
Kareem? Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Kareem. Sounds good. So Kareem, listen, why are you against those Muslims? Explain that. Give me your reasons. And now let's have a further discussion about why I'm against where you stand on your worship of a pedophile. Okay, let's talk about the validity of the Quran. No, he doesn't want to even take the first step down that.
It's instant defensiveness. Like, oh my God, I'm outraged. How dare you attack something dear to me? He's not even willing to have a conversation about that. You would
look,
never get him to that point.
This is the same reason why Christians in general are very reluctant to attack other fringe Christians. So, like Mormons, you will very rarely see a public display of an evangelistic or evangelical Christian talking shit about a Mormon and they could go on for hours about it, but they know that we would agree with them, and then we'd say, okay, wait a minute, use that same logic against yourself, and they're like, ooh, shit, system malfunction, but I can't cope with that. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
They're a chess player who has seen 3 moves in advance, and they don't want to make that first move because they don't want the mate in 3.
Yeah, they know
a good
where the
point.
conversation's going, and he knows he doesn't have a leg to stand on. He just is asking us to just very kindly not have this discussion at all, please. Can we just not do this, please?
Right. Nothing to see here. Tuck it under the rug,
Yeah.
as you were.
Because there is no defense. There's no alternative to going, well, there might be something wrong here. And he can't do that.
How many times are we gonna tell them that?
Oh my god, this is a 15-minute long video?
We're only 2 minutes in. Fuck that.
Well, that's been fun.
Yep. Goodbye, Kareem. You suck.
I think we pretty much burned that one. Bye, buddy.
Well, I'm wondering if the Crusades were going to come up later.
I'm certain
or,
he was going to bring up all kinds of the standard talking points.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You know what? We're going to shift gears. We're going to do the Angelina Jolie video. This one's really short.
Oh, this ought to be good.
This is I don't even remember
Here's
how I found
Angelina.
this. This is like a conspiracy video.
Oh boy.
And it's just a picture of the doll-like Angelina Jolie with all her makeup. Like, that's not
It's
a
literally-
hit.
it's literally
This could be a
30 seconds.
this could be a
Wait a
wax
minute.
dummy.
If there's any triangles that can be formed, her eyebrow is almost triangular. That could be
True.
Illuminati.
I mean, really?
Could be the third eye.
Are you telling me this isn't a wax doll? This is a real human being?
That kind of goes into what's going to be said, and I'm pretty sure this person is not a Poe or troll because they have an entire channel filled with rambling like this.
Oh, fantastic.
Here's Angelina Jolie, classic male jaw. Look at that straight
Oh my. Oh my, this is gonna be good.
Yeah.
jaw. Look at that angle of that jaw. Angelina Jolie is a male. That's a boy body.
That's a
Wow.
boy body.
Wait a minute. Women can't have jaws?
That's what
Yeah.
she said.
Much too male.
Wait, if anything, it's more common that a woman has a distinctive jawline because they tend not to have double chins and as much fat bodies
Yeah.
in their neck.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, there's a lot of things that go into why men tend to have softer jaws than women, and that's definitely one of them.
But you also can't show this picture, which is obviously, she has a makeup or prosthetics on.
Yeah,
This
she's
is
got
not her actual
prosthetics
face.
for sure. Look at the cheekbones.
Yeah.
Much
And
too
also,
male.
if you take a look at her mother, by the way, her mother is gorgeous. Her mother is the arm candy that you get when you're a successful actor in Hollywood in the 70s, which
Yeah.
her dad was, John Voight. But John Voight has a jawline just like that. So guess what? Genetics, I'm not a scientist, but I think you take after your parents.
Yeah, you can pretty much figure that out.
Follow the alleles.
Okay, here we see her letting her inner tranny come out.
Because the character's flamboyant, this is her just being a tranny.
Yeah, it's also a role. It's also a movie role. That's what actors do.
I think you'd have a better chance if you searched for Adam's apples as opposed to jawlines,
Yeah.
because Adam's apples are dead giveaway.
Yeah, those
That's
are
in my
pretty
experience.
obvious. Yeah, those are
In my
pretty
experience,
obvious.
getting massages in Thailand, that's the.
No, I used to joke with a friend of mine, because, like I said, I grew up around a place called the Parliament House, and it was all transsexuals, and then like all the restaurants around there at like 11 o'clock at night would just be full of trannies. And we used to joke how you can tell a male from a woman. It's not the Adam's, it's the knuckles. A man's hands are entirely different than a woman's hands, and you can usually
I don't
tell.
know. We were just watching Kareem, and he has pretty small, soft hands. Maybe it's an attempt to blend in.
But he is of that Reza Aslan school of manhood.
Y-
It's
yeah.
just this ladyboy style.
Squirrel man.
Manhood in the ultimate quotes.
Her inner tranny demon. Look at the square jaw, the big cheeks. Maleficent. M-A-L-E. You see there.
Maleficent.
Maleficent.
It sounds like some inferiority complex. I mean, imagine making a video criticizing the looks of Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
That's not gonna go well for you.
Yeah, that's an amazing idea, really.
I should make a video like, oh my god, Chris Hemsworth. I bet those muscles are photoshopped.
Oh, he's a woman. He's a very handsome
Yeah,
woman.
he's a tranny.
Dark humor. It's the Baphomet, Satanic, Illuminati, New World Order, Transgender Agenda.
Sick.
Well, thank you.
That was lovely.
Just all the buzzwords at the end. That may be a troll, but I really don't think it is.
That was lovely.
Based on her other videos.
Yeah.
I know several YouTube channels that have literally hundreds of videos that crazy. So it is possible this person's just an unmedicated schizophrenic, like so many of our other guests.
Well, here's what I like about that, trying to figure out if somebody's a troll or not. You look through their archive of videos, and once you see just 100 hours, 1,000 hours of content, it actually doesn't matter if they're a troll or not anymore, because they are the crazy they're portraying at that point. It's like,
Yes, pretty much.
have you seen The Shining?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a famous shot where she finds the diary of this guy, and he's been writing, "All work and no play makes Johnny a very unhappy boy," or something like that. And it's written over like 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Page after page of it, written in all these diabolical ways. Now, somebody had to do that. An intern had to do that, and just the horrific part of that is the wasted human energy of writing the same sentence over and over again.
Yes.
And so it's still crazy that somebody did that, even though he was a paid, employee of that movie production company.
That actually might just add a level of crazy. Like now you're being paid to do that.
Right.
That's even
It
crazier.
does drive people crazy. Like Heath Ledger, he had his diary and he kind of went a little nutso,
Did he?
getting deep into the character.
Well, I think he was stained by the whole Brokeback Mountain experience. And
That was an
the
interesting
demonic-
choice of words.
yeah.
Stained.
Oh my god. I think, we just mentioned him. We're gonna do Reza Aslan.
Hmm.
Yeah, this is another
I
one of
always
his
say to
interviews
people
with
is that-
Oprah.
Facile.
Facile. Ugh.
This is the one where he's like
Gross.
all made up and
Oh,
speaking of
shit,
feetly,
look at
and
him.
look at all the
those
makeup.
hips.
Yeah, look at all the
Look at-
makeup.
Dude, look at his hair. Look at the little salt and pepper bitch. Look at his unbuttoned top,
Yeah.
little wisps of
Yeah,
gray
just
hair.
off a little chest there.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, he's clearly knows the Oprah audience. Am I right?
Oh, gross.
Just on a wicker chair.
Uh-huh.
Look at him.
Yeah, in a
I
sound
don't want to
stage.
know the people who are getting off to watching this.
Wait, is Oprah going to ask him, what is God to you, Reza? 'Cause
Oh,
that's one of her
yeah.
questions.
Oh yeah, she has a whole series about
Oh,
that shit.
shit.
Yeah, brace. This one gets bad.
There is no proof for the existence or the non-existence
Oh,
of God.
Yeah, comes right out the bat with it.
I love that he's. First of all, I was gonna bet that his legs were crossed in that manner.
Uh-huh.
The full package of him is so gay. Look at oh my god. Look at his little butt. His little butt doesn't even fill the chair. Look at Oprah's butt. Oprah's butt's like this. It's just kerplunk. Okay, wait a minute. This is what Neil deGrasse Tyson said, by the way. There is no proof of God. There is no disproof. There's no proof that he doesn't exist. Do you understand what the burden of proof is? Do you understand what we're even engaged in here? Assessing evidence for something. That is such a horseshit thing to say, and he leads with that. Okay,
Yeah.
when you lead with something, that's the first thing. You've pre-thought that, okay? That was like your go-to. The whole stream of consciousness is going to, it's going to trickle away from your initial thought, which is you can't disprove there's a God. And that is just a ludicrous statement.
Yeah.
You could do a whole video on that.
And people make that statement as though it were valid. People say, well, you can't disprove God. I have a whole list of shit you can't disprove.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
Therefore,
Mark,
it's okay to believe in it. Don't make fun of it.
Mark, by the way, that list includes everything.
Uh-huh.
You can't disprove anything.
Uh-huh.
I mean, this is the point. You propose that there's some mythological invisible thing in the sky, and guess what? There's just as much evidence for that as there is for God.
Yeah.
Anybody care to mention that? By the way, look at the ground they're on. What is that? That's,
I know. That's how you know it's a
like
soundstage.
Or something.
that's wood chips. It's like a pizza place. Like, what
Yeah.
is that?
Yeah, it's literally like a mulch they brought into a soundstage there to give it the
But just set
illusion.
up some wicker chairs on some mulch.
Yeah.
What a weird.
Yeah, and you can tell
Please
by
let that be quicksand.
you can
Please.
tell if you notice the background doesn't actually line up properly now that we're paused and you can look. You can see that the
yeah.
perspective is fucked up. Someone actually copied the real mulch on the ground and is projecting that image onto the green screen behind them.
I see.
You see how the
Yeah.
perspective's all fucked up.
That's
Conspiracy
bad.
theory.
Let's look for a triangle.
Faith
Quick.
is a choice, but it's not an irrational choice. That it's
Yeah, that's a 3D set.
actually quite rational and reasonable when confronted.
What? How is it rational to believe in something with no evidence?
It's
It's been
that's
debunked.
that is the Muslim line, by the way, that it is rational to believe in God. What do you?
I mean,
Well, then
what
they
is
have a
that?
really fucked up sense of rationality.
It's just bizarre, man.
We're
And you know
not
what's great?
operating. God.
The best example to give is the courtroom, is the burden of proof and establishing guilt versus not guilty. I think Dillahunty talks about this, where he says, "I find the existence of God to be not guilty of being true." He's not saying it's innocent. You don't. That's not how you prove stuff. That's not how we attain knowledge or conclusions about the nature of reality. You feel me?
Oh yeah. I think this speaks to a larger problem of, like, you try to win over people with logic or reason, and they're not operating on the same definition of rationality. So it makes this all very frustrating.
Yeah, not to
But here's
mention,
what's great.
remember that
These two
Oprah is
people-
incredibly religious, so this just feeds her.
Yes, right. That's my point. These two people are in league with each other. They are nodding. She's just nodding in approval. Ooh, good. I wanted to hear that. I was hoping you would say that. It's rational for me to believe in all this magic and bullshit that I have no grounds to believe in it. I mean, that's their emotional desire. That's a win for them.
Yeah.
So there's a conflict of interest for them to even be debating this. You
Yeah.
understand? If I said to you, who won the game 2 in the NBA Finals between the Cleveland Cavs and the Toronto Raptors, you have no emotional stake in that. Okay, especially if you're a woman, especially if you're Oprah, she doesn't care. So she'd just be like, I don't know, look it up. Who won? Oh, the Cavs. There's a blowout. Okay, cool. This is totally different than that. Everything is on the line for them. They are invested deeply on a psychological level into this, and so you can't expect any shred of honesty in this discussion from them.
No. They're morally compromised.
Yeah,
And
and,
personally compromised.
and here goes
And-
all of the lies.
Also, they won't even acknowledge that there's a conflict of interest.
Mm-mm.
And speaking of this, if you have a conflict of interest in a courtroom scenario, which is essentially what any intellectual debate is, especially when you're trying to determine the truth of a given proposition, they will throw you out of the court if you have even a tangential conflict of interest. Judge Ito, if one of the witnesses, if he went to school with one of the witnesses, he would have been thrown out as the judge.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Okay, so yeah.
Well, and like I said, brace, because now comes all the lies, as you know Reza's so very, very good at. I believe he even says, as someone who's studied religions around the world.
Oh yeah, I think he does.
I'm a scholar.
Yeah. Brace.
I went
With
I went to the same school this guy went to for a month, UCSB, for a few months. UCSB is not an institute of higher learning, okay? It's a party school where you fuck blonde women from San Diego and get stoned.
Sounds like fun.
But
To
yeah,
be fair,
sounds like-
Reza was not doing that.
yeah, right. So we could safely say that, but I mean, the guy was taking sociology classes there. Sociology is the class
Yeah.
that the ditzy airhead from San Diego takes at UCSB, because you know why? You got to choose something.
Yeah. It's
If you're a
sociology,
woman-
communications, that's what you're going to
Yep.
get.
It's the most half-assed. This is something like an athlete would consider taking.
Yeah.
Some star jock who's on a full ride. He's like, well, what are my choices? Oh, okay, I'll do sports medicine. Yeah, sure, sounds good. Let's do that. Sociology, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, exactly. And it's either that or poli-sci. That's another one you'll see a lot of. I'm a political science major. Oh, God.
Dude, look at his lips looking like a puckered asshole.
Oh, yeah.
I have a degree in the history of religions.
Yeah.
Yes.
reality and the world and life itself, to believe that there is a transcendence, that there is something beyond. I talk about
just
it very
because you use like one big word doesn't suddenly make it sound smart.
Yeah, transcendence, people. Mic drop. Wait a minute.
Look how
There is
fabulous.
something.
That was so fabulous. So he just threw his arms up. Transcendence.
Right. There is something beyond. We live in a never-ending, always expanding universe. So once you've sort of digested that fact, is that not enough?
Yeah, I know.
We have
We need
unlimited-
more.
An infinity of space and time? Not enough. You want transcendence, huh?
Well, you see, Devin, that's not enough. A big universe isn't enough. I need a creator of the universe who's personally invested in me, who cares
Right,
about
becomes-
me specifically.
It comes back to you, the primate. Sure.
Ironically, they are actually shrinking the universe.
Yeah, I've read a line in a book when I was younger that basically is, do you not think that the jellyfish believed it to be the highest in existence? Do you think the jellyfish doesn't think that, anything better than it is just dumb and doing the wrong thing?
I like the saying, if triangles had gods, they would have 3 sides.
Yeah, that's a good one, too.
The god, or their gods would have 3 sides. Or something. I mean, it's just totally self-centered view of the universe.
Simply as the 3 questions, right? Number 1, do you believe that there is something beyond the material world, that there is something beyond the material realm? Or
you see the way he was slapping his chair?
Yeah. So beyond chairs, do atoms count?
Yeah.
Does DNA count?
Yeah.
Does the microscopic, does the nano, the quantum? I mean, ridiculous. Define a material.
Yeah, we're still working on that, bud.
So basically, is this his proof of the supernatural?
Yes.
There's some things you can't see. Hey, guys, when there's wind? What is wind? We can't see it. You can't touch wind, can you? Magic exists, therefore God.
That's what really bothers me, is that he simply is saying that he this is not even, it's a statement of his facts. This is his reality, is that there must be something beyond the material world.
Well, they start from there. They start with a conclusion and work backwards. So it's already disingenuous.
Mm-hmm.
do you believe that this is it? If you believe...
Stop being such a fag.
Well, I like that. I like that negative connotation you said that. The implication. This is it. This is it. Just this. Just this magnificent, glorious existence. That's it. Yeah. That's all you get.
Just this 1 in a million chance you're getting to experience. Just this thing.
So, in other words, no virgins, no 72 virgins, no eternal life, which was going to work out really well for you, coincidentally. No, just this. Just this totally glorious, inexplainable myriad of beauty and evolved design. Well, I don't even use the word design, but just majesty, pure majesty.
Yeah.
And it's not enough for him, though.
I mean, it explains why a lot of these people aren't big on saving the environment. It's, they aren't grateful for the world, and that's so shocking.
Yes, Christian people piss in the oceans because they feel like, look, I mean, we can't harm this planet.
Jesus is coming back in a couple of years anyway, guys.
Yeah,
he's got the whole world in his hands.
This is it. Good for you. You're an atheist. I have no problem with that.
That was your dad.
Go on your way.
That was your father.
That's right.
You're a
That's my
moron.
dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you don't have a problem with atheists, Reza.
Yeah, did you hear the tone shift? I mean, did you hear the tone shift? Fine, that's fine.
Be an atheist, I guess.
The way he just described that was, look, you have severe burns, you lost your legs in war, you're severely autistic. If that's your life, good for you. Just enjoy that. Do whatever you can do. Just make the best out of that. It's like, dude, no, Reza. God, I would love to debate this guy.
I know.
You haven't tapped into the power of my magical sky kingdom? I guess. Good for you. You tried.
Some people operate on a lower, simplistic level.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
If you believe that there is something else, I have a second question for you. Do you want to experience that thing? Do you want to commune with it?
Well, yeah, but that's what acid is for. Fuck, I don't need your help.
Wait a minute. How about, do you want to establish if it's real? No, forget it. You think it. That's probably good enough. Don't worry about that. Just commune. Just engage with it. And that engagement process, that is religion. Religion is a series of words. It's a language we use to communicate the transcendent within us.
Yeah, I mean, you could just string this. You could string this bullshit together in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I like that. It's just like, if you think it's out there, try to speak to this thing, whatever it is, because that's not weird. That's normal.
Listen and believe.
Do you want to feel it? If not, great, you're an agnostic.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I say, what is it about that?
That's a question I'm never planning on asking Oprah.
Do you want
more gay?
Feel it? And he said it just like, feel it.
Sky Daddy.
Facile over-enunciation of the transcendent.
Jesus.
Go about your business, you're fine. If yes, then that leads me to the third question, which is how? How?
Well, obviously by praying 5 times a day after bathing myself in a bowl of dirty water.
Well, Well, here's one thing. Find a bunch of other insane, crazy narcissists who are totally deluded and join with them and talk back and forth. Find an old dirty book from the fucking dark ages. Pick that up and then recant sayings from that book. That is the noble, enlightened way to go through life, people.
Obviously.
Build yourself an echo chamber and take directions from a book written by fucking primitives.
Yeah, and then
I love
once
how he's
you've
trying to break
established...
this down, like, so that's why it's so rational to believe what I believe.
Yeah.
Did I explain that to you? Was my enunciation clear enough to make that seem logical?
Yeah. Do I seem convicted enough? Do I seem like I'm full of conviction about this? Because if I believe this, and I'm clearly an educated and smart individual, look at how well dressed I am
Look
and
at
well
his
coiffed.
credentials.
Look at my well coiffed hair and my well done
Yeah.
makeup. You have to trust what's coming out of this mouth.
Should I take my crossed legs and uncross them and cross them the other way, like Sharon Stone from Basic Instinct? Would that help?
Would that help my credibility in this situation?
Of course.
His dick is probably as big as Sharon's.
Jesus.
Do you want to experience it through religion? Do you want to experience it through human relationships? Do you want to experience it?
What?
What? Wait, how is human relationships on par with religion?
I don't know.
The people that you were just like talking down to are already doing that. We're already experiencing that.
Wait, so if you think there's more than the material world, so wait, relationships are not material. Ah, I see. A relationship with a human is not something you can weigh. It doesn't have mass. Therefore, it's magic. Okay, it's pixie dust.
Wow.
And therefore, it's kind of a religion. So if you believe in relationships, look, if you love somebody, then you're basically halfway to being religious.
Yeah, if
Is
you're
that
not a
what you're saying?
socially, if you're not a sociopath, you're fine. You're obviously you have some religion. It's the old Greek. You know the Greeks did this, right? Fucking Plato did this. They had a whole thing where they sat around after drinking way too much one night and talked about where love came from. And one of the potentials was it was spiritual and it came from the gods. You're
Right,
the
so in
same
other
nut
words,
job.
Okay, the chair you're sitting on is material, but if you believe in things like love, which clearly you do, and if you believe in human relationships, happiness, concepts like that, abstract thought, then you are a magic believer. Therefore, you're already balls deep into the crazy. So you might as well become religious.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even though we can look at like chemicals in the brain that explain attraction or whatever, but
Well,
no.
we can explain emotion for starters. We could, it's all been broken down, but disregard that. Just go with your gut feeling. You can't weigh it.
Hell, we can look at
Remember
areas of the brain that light up when people are having a supposedly religious experience.
Reese, the tide goes in, the tide goes out. You can't explain that.
You
So
can't
if you
explain
can,
that.
I'm sticking with Catholicism.
I love that answer. You can't explain that. Wait, what?
I'm sticking with Jesus. He's got the answers.
Through the experience of nature and awe, through the experience.
Yeah.
Hold on. By the way, Christopher Hitchens talked about nature and awe, and for the exact opposite reasons, saying we can have that. You don't have to be crazy to acknowledge the awesomeness here. Don't try to include nature into this. Nature's not part of your resume. It's not part of the religious resume. Nature is nature. Okay? I mean, nature is scientifically based. We understand nature, or we're growing on our understanding of the cosmos. But to try to throw that into his reasoning behind why you should be believing in things that have no basis for you to believe in them, that's absurd. What does it have to do with it?
We're enjoying it. We're enjoying it all right now. I have a lot of good landscapes and nature here. I enjoy that. Even Dawkins said like the hugeness of the universe kind of gave him a spiritual experience, just to be able to think about how big it was.
But that's just bullshit. He's just like listing off things that are cool and we like, and then saying it's like, oh, Natalie Portman's face, her acting ability, Scarlett Johansson's tits. See, these are things we think are transcendent, therefore religion and God.
Yeah, and somehow he puts not just that, but my other problem is he puts even just the spiritual experience, even like you said, ethereal, non-physical experiences, all of them, and then equates those to organized groups of individuals, organized religion.
Right.
That doesn't make sense.
Making these personal observations about things that he sees around him, and then he says, "Oh yeah, so become a Muslim." Like, I'm waiting for that jump. Like, there's a bit of a gray zone there. In his thought
Yeah,
process.
don't just be religious. And he liked to frame it like, oh, you need to choose which path you're going to take. It's Islam, dude. Just be honest.
By the way, this was mentioned in many of the atheist debates with Sam Harrison and Hitchens, where they would say, look, you're right now giving us a half-assed reasoning for being a deist. Okay, you still have all your work to do to claim theism and to claim one specific Abrahamic cult.
Yeah.
It's such an obvious sales pitch.
Mm-hmm.
How I don't know how they expect this to work.
Well, Reese, do you love your mother?
Oh, I forgot.
Well, then there's a
Then
God.
you're already religious.
Yeah, then there's a
Yeah,
God.
yeah, I
There
can't
you go.
explain it. Ted goes in, love goes out. Something. I'm religious now.
Mixed metaphor. Beautiful.
Of climbing a mountain or swimming in an ocean, that the how.
Wow.
Wait a minute. Is he listing off the daily activities at a summer camp?
Yeah, he's just listing
That's
stuff
what gives
now.
him a spiritual experience, climbing a mountain or swimming in the ocean.
You guys, we're going to tell stories around a campfire. We're also going to do a canoe ride. These things are great. And to have that, you really do need to believe in magic. It's like, no, dude. What are you... Random listing of things.
Yeah, good things, positive activities, shiny stuff.
Yeah, a nice warm cup of hot chocolate on a rainy day.
Yeah.
Combing my hair, applying the makeup, unbuttoning the top button.
Notice that he's not saying starvation, sudden infant death syndrome. All things that God oversees.
Yeah, MS, multiple sclerosis, all things we don't understand.
Exploding, that's fine.
Heat
The
death.
majesty of a dirty, hairy bunghole. It's like, no, it's not being listed.
The inevitable heat death of the universe, those things.
Yes. Maggots, ticks. Shit.
A personal choice that is really up to each individual, but it's all about deciding whether you want to or not. It's not about needing proof. There is no proof in the sense of...
Time. By the way, does Oprah seem extra Jerry curled out tonight?
Yes.
A little bit.
I mean, she is frizzed up. I mean, it's just like
she teased that shit
city.
straight out.
I like this bullshit red herring of you need proof. Oh, which kind of proof? Reasonable doubt? Because that's what we go by in the court system. Things like evidence and reasonable doubt. But proof, that's a very odd choice, a very odd criteria to set. You've raised the bar pretty high there. Because we have no proof of anything, including our own existence, if you want to get technical. So, very strange that the reasonableness and evidence was not mentioned in that sentence.
At all.
I just love how he comes out and says it, just point blank, like, proof, we don't need that, it's whatever.
Yeah, like Lord Belmont just said in the chat, it's up to you what you want to believe, and what you want to believe is your truth. Like, what? It's meaningless then. It's all meaningless, what you're saying.
So how could he dispute anything anyone says? Like, how would he come to a debate like, oh, Islam is the true religion then? He can't by that logic.
No, he would just say, for me, this is what I gravitate towards. Oh, it happens to be the religion of my birth and my community, but I came to it on my own. It was an independent search, and but the thing is, people don't apply this reasoning to any other aspect of their life, to their finances, to their personal safety, to their day-to-day activities. They operate, in the real world, and they use evidence all the time, and physics and science-based thought processes, until you talk about the prospect of, is death real? And then all that reasoning gets thrown out the window.
Yep. You can't apply
Science
this
for anything else.
No, you
Not
can't
just for
apply
any
this
other
to
thing.
anything pragmatically. This is not a pragmatic ideology. This is
Right.
Look, Devin, I spend my whole day thinking about what's there, what exists, what I can tell exists. Can't I just have one thing? Can't I just have fun one time?
The biggest issue of all. That's the one you're going to
Devin,
fuck
why
up.
are you trying to take away my fun?
your
Come on.
absolute epistemology, the way you actually view the world is what I'm concerned with, yes.
I mean, if I put on the kettle and I'm going to make some tea, and you hear it whistle and the steam's coming off, and I pour a cup of it, and I say, hey, put your hand in this. And you go, no. And I go, why? And you go, well, it's boiling hot. You just boiled some tea. And I go, no, it's not. Prove it. You have no proof that it's hot. It's like,
Yeah.
well, but I have a lot of evidence. It's
Yeah,
a
but what is
reasonable
hot?
assumption.
What is hot, really? I mean, that word
Yeah,
is
what
so
is hot?
vague. You're
Yeah.
just throwing that out
I
there.
mean, that's
as
just a
in-
word. It's a construct.
So here's my takeaway from this little experiment. I can't prove that it's boiling hot, but I also can't prove it's not. So therefore, I'll just believe whatever I want to believe, whatever it's going to suit me. and my agenda to live forever.
Yeah.
You just have to have faith to touch it, and you won't be hurt.
And my agenda to live forever. Exactly.
Yeah.
What we would refer to as scientific proof. It's just a decision.
Well,
Just make a
fuck
decision. Yeah, yes, it is just a decision, and it's the wrong one. It's an ill-informed,
Well, he said
incorrect,
it.
totally crazy decision. That you
well, at least now that destroys the idea that I can be racist against Muslims because it's a decision they made.
You see, people, this is what I used to talk about, atheism. This is what some people liked about my channel, because I used to destroy people like this, but it's very easy,
Yeah.
and it's been done.
Yeah,
It's fun to revisit.
Yeah, we just do this now. We just do this in real time and talk shit and laugh at their faces, and then we move on with our days.
Yeah, it's not worth having any kind of intellectual debate about at this point. Hagrid, I think we're gonna do the Facebook video.
Okay, like I said,
if that's gonna work.
Yeah, it's just gonna be a second.
Yeah, we had this sent to us. I don't even know how to explain this. This is all kinds of crazy.
All right.
I'm gonna talk to the chat.
Give me all the warnings. Yeah.
Alright.
I know.
The chat's been fun.
All right.
Hey guys, so today
Here's this crazy cunt.
Yeah.
4
We're just
minutes
gonna let her
and
roll.
50
We're just,
some
we're
odd
just gonna
seconds.
let her go.
Yeah, this is gonna be painful.
Give her a running start. Okay.
Hey guys, so today I want to talk about my period. And
Can I have a vote in this? I don't want to talk about your period.
Overruled, Devin.
Yeah, it's bad.
this might make you uncomfortable. Makes me a little
Yes.
uncomfortable.
Why are we doing this? Is this important to the world? Does the world need to know about your period?
Yes.
I feel like the plant life in the back and the sunlight. This could be the Hollywood Hills.
It does. It does look like a very
Yeah,
look
it
at her
does.
fucking outfit. Look at the frill on her outfit. Look at that
Yeah, I
overdone
would say, like,
haircut.
I would say Arizona or something like that, but based on her outfit, her hair, and her overall sort of look, and the weather and the plant life there, it feels like Los Angeles.
And her insistence on talking about her period in public.
People are saying to the dog just walk. Like she starts talking about her period, and the dog's like, "Nope,
Nope.
I'm out. Fuck that shit."
Wait, is that a German Shepherd?
Yes. Or a Belgian.
So isn't that one of the dogs that fuck women on like bestiality porn, allegedly?
Yeah, yes.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Those dogs don't care if you're on your period. Just as a side note, they'll fuck. They'll be like, "That's a lubricant for me, baby. I don't care."
I think are we gonna get flagged for hate speech?
Oh yeah, no doubt.
But you know what? I'm committed to actually being with the things that make me uncomfortable. And I'm also committed to healing myself. And what I mean by healing is, I mean, embracing all parts of myself. I'm not trying to
what
leave
she means by
parts
healing is
of
putting a
myself
Band-Aid
behind
on
that I don't
her
think
axe
are
wound.
Yeah. What are you
No,
healing?
It's
Where I
some
come
kind
from, if something bleeds on your body, cover it with a Band-Aid. It's a tried and true method. It's always worked. I
You don't
why
understand,
we-
Devin. This is deeper transition or whatever.
Ah,
This is some like we're expanding beyond ourselves.
healing her soul.
I see.
Fur is murder, by the way.
are acceptable or you know, useful or pleasant. Which is what I have done most of my life, and I think most of us have been programmed to do. So
Pause. I just watched a video called "How to Identify a Jew" from an up-and-coming YouTuber called Evalion. But she might be Jewish, but to me, this looks like if Anne Frank had survived it and moved out to LA to become an actress, like she had thought about doing. Like, she looks very much like Anne Frank to me. Am I off?
No.
I can see it.
Okay.
And by the way, I believe her channel is down.
Yeah, of course.
So that's why this subject matter has become kind of prevalent in my experience. And what I've noticed is that there's so much shame around this subject. There's so much.
Oh, a free bleeder.
We're on the subject of being on your period?
Yeah.
So much shame.
Who's shaming them?
No idea. I guess it's just
People who are not completely on board with it being this wonderful out-of-body experience.
Well, I think in the Bible they told women to up a mountain for a week every month.
yeah.
Yeah, just
be like,
leave
"Look,
town until
yeah,
it
when you're-
ends.
Maybe she's on that mountain because it looks like she's on a hill. Or something. So like, She's bitter up on Period Mountain.
I was at Period.
But in all seriousness, I mean, these people are the type that'll be like, if she and a guy were becoming intimate, and she were to say, "Hey, I'm on my period," and he were to go, "Well, that's not going to happen today." Nope, that's it. That's shaming to her. She has been shamed for having a period.
It's weird.
Of course.
Or we're shamed for not wanting to walk into a bathroom and see, fucking used shit in the toilet, in the tissue. I mean,
look, we all recognize that periods are an uncomfortable fact about being a woman, and it's not a happy thing. I mean, this is disgusting. Blood clots and all that, and cramps, and it's nasty. But, like, what about us? We have balls. We have dangling balls. Disgusting. Just across the board.
Yeah.
But we're not going around saying, "Oh, God, ball shame." Stop ball shaming me.
Don't shame my balls. You must love them.
Has anybody ever, you guys in this room, have you ever received a compliment on your balls?
Can't say I have.
No.
Right. And there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
Like, the best you can hope for is just to not have the balls be a deal breaker.
Yeah.
That's a win.
Yeah, we're just going for ball acceptance at this point. I don't want ball positivity, okay?
We're playing defense with our balls. We're trying to manscape our balls just so that they're not just such a cock blocker. The balls are cock blockers. That's what's crazy. Literally, sometimes.
Yeah, ironically in position, but
There's so much feeling like we have to sort of hide from it and pretend like it's not there and we can't talk about it, and we...
That's why she's wearing all black.
Well, who wants to have this discussion? I mean, there's nothing
She
wrong
does.
with that.
Yeah, this is breaking news. Like, we were all waiting for that. We shouldn't be ashamed of our period video to come out. My life is complete now.
Sort of, we're told to just sort of put a tampon in and keep going on with our life, and if we've got PMS, pop an aspirin or an ibuprofen and call it a day. And what we're doing is
What would you prefer? Would you prefer
what else?
those weren't available to you?
No, I think the world needs to stop, and we all have to just come up on some pedestal and just worship the blood god, their pussy.
Oh yeah, we all need
this?
to go out of our way to bend over backwards for someone who's having a shitty day. Okay.
Yeah, we'll just do
Why
that
is it
satanic
that-
ritual where you eat a woman out when she's on her period on an altar. It'll be fine. That'll become our new religion.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck me.
Why is it that you don't have runway models who are on their period and just completely staining up their trousers? Like, why is that not seen as beauty? It's bullshit.
It's such
Yeah,
it's
we
such
gotta
a
free the
crazy
period.
question.
We really gotta free the period, man. It's being oppressed.
Oh, that's so gross.
we're actually denying a very beautiful and natural process that's happening.
Hold on. Define beauty for me. What is beautiful about that?
Yeah.
The lining of your uterus leaking out of your vag hole is beautiful?
Yeah.
I mean, dude, on a spectrum, maybe.
I mean, to be fair,
compared to
these are
what?
the same self-obsessed twats that say there's the beauty of birth. It's not beautiful. There's nothing
Okay.
beautiful
No.
about it.
If that dog pinches off a deuce right behind her, that's as beautiful.
Yes.
I mean, if we're going to...
Yeah, Reza should have mentioned all of this when it came to natural beauty.
Canoeing. Flying.
Paddle boating.
Roasting marshmallows.
With the female body every
Those
single
cycles.
month. I mean, I've been in denial of my period for literally like 17 years.
Well, that sounds dangerous. You've just been
What?
bleeding on shit and being like, I don't know where that came from. That's not me. I don't know what's going on.
How was that a thing?
Clearly, this is her problem. She's projecting out onto the universe.
Oh, of course.
You are the one that has shame about your period. Nobody else, you. So don't blame us. This is not like this is a joint therapy session that we didn't sign up for.
And ironically, she might be the most drugged out human being we've seen on this show.
It's possible to.
Oh yeah, I'm
Look
sure
at
she's
those
taking some coke
bags.
for that
Look at the
week.
bags under her eyes, dude.
It's beautiful, Hagbart. How dare you?
And I'm ready to not do that anymore.
Look how squinty she is. I mean, fucking, I'm a pothead, but Jesus, lady.
I'm ready to have
she
a
has a little-
conversation.
She has a little gypsy in her, I think. I think she could be Romanian.
Little
do you think?
Romana.
Yeah, let's see it.
About it, and to also, encourage both men and women to look at the subject differently. I think a lot of men who have women in their lives who have their period don't get that being grossed out by it is actually
Wait a minute. Is she gonna police what we get grossed out by?
Yeah, she's trying to gatekeep my gross reactions. Yeah.
Which is like an involuntary reaction most of the time.
Wait a minute. I'm grossed out by blood in general. I don't know about you guys. If I see somebody with a nasty open wound, if I'm watching a UFC, somebody's ears like hanging off, like that's gross. But why is she trying to take my right to be grossed out by something away from me?
Because it hurts her feelings.
Yeah, because she is the source of the grossness every month.
Yeah, it's kind of like the
And she
people that are
doesn't want
saying it's mean to be grossed out by someone with AIDS. It's mean to be grossed out by trying to fuck a tranny. It's mean to be grossed out by fat people. No,
a
it's not.
transgender, right?
No, a tranny.
I get that.
No.
Okay, but look, this girl takes shits, right?
That's
She's
beautiful.
the source of that grossness.
Yeah, her shits are beauty.
Yeah. Is she gonna convince me that shit doesn't stink now? Like, it's weird.
It's just as beautiful as birth, Hagbard. Come on.
And she takes more shits than she does have her period, so why aren't we talking about that shame?
I mean, it's even a regional issue if you think about it.
Yeah, just... Sure.
Indirectly
It's a
shaming.
trouble zone on her body.
She's got a particular area, a region that could probably be covered in about 4 square inches that provides 90% of the gross in her life.
Yeah.
And it's not your fault, both to men and women, I'm saying this. It's not our fault that we are grossed out or that we want nothing to do with it. We've been conditioned not to.
Otherwise, we'd play with it.
Wait
We've
a
been
minute.
conditioned.
Are you telling me I should want something to do with it?
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do with your period blood?
Love it.
Like paint it on my face like I'm some Aztec warrior? Like,
Yes.
what is this?
There are feminists who do that.
2 words, finger painting. No, I don't want this.
Yeah, no, see, Devin, you've been conditioned because in your natural state, you were actually attracted to this. But, no, society's really, really molded you.
Right. Yeah, is this the patriarchy at work?
Yeah,
Clearly.
it's a complete conspiracy theory.
Yeah, clearly it's a conspiracy theory run by men to dislike periods. It's
That's crazy.
But honestly, let me throw out a theoretical. What if men had their period and we bled out of our pee hole every month? How would we view that? Do you think we'd be like, "Hey world, I'm on my period. Check this out. I'm going to do a live stream of it." I mean, what? It would still be gross, and we would be averse to engaging with it.
yes. Yeah, anytime rancid blood drips from one's body, I would advise not to play with it. Yeah.
And men do piss blood sometimes, right?
Yeah.
It happens, and when it does happen, it's alarming, and nobody's celebrating that.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's beautiful. It's part of nature.
Yeah, kidney stones are part of nature. They're beautiful.
You must love it. You must love me for this.
We've been shown, Tampax commercials our whole life where the blood can't even be red, it has to be blue because it would be too offensive, it would be too real to acknowledge that that's actually blood that's coming out of a person.
Yeah, because we did a focus group on that, and it turns out you're going to sell more of your vag pads if you don't show the blood.
Yeah.
That's not a slight against women, that's just smart.
Although I would pay for someone to deliver me a videotape of that session going down where they show the red one and the blue one and everyone reacts to the red one. I'd love to see that focus group videotape.
It would be like if they were selling Band-Aids and before they advertise the Band-Aids, they have to like show someone getting this nasty cut. Like no one wants to see that on TV.
But
really.
They do the same thing with diapers and urine.
Yeah.
They're not showing you some acidic yellow liquid. They're showing you water.
Yeah, exactly.
No, we just need to show shit and piss. That will sell.
Right.
And so we sort of skirt around the issue and try to make it as polite as possible. Because the truth of the matter is we're afraid of it. And the reason we're afraid of it is because it's a powerful thing.
Oh, this is going to go way off base now.
Well, you better not wear a skirt when you're trying to skirt around this issue because that could be problematic. Could be some
It's so
drippage.
powerful. I've tapped into the power of the universe.
Oh, this is gonna
She's
get
about
bad.
to get all Mother Earth on us and like it's about reproduction, it's beautiful, it's our bodies.
It's about fertility.
Yes. I'm a fertility goddess.
Women are powerful creators.
Here it goes.
We are powerfully creative. We can...
Yeah, women just create babies, you know that, right?
We can bleed and bleed and bleed and never die.
Yes.
That is our superpower.
That is the true power.
Yes.
create life, we can harness the stillness of our being and move mountains with it.
What does that even mean?
Whoa.
That's
Wonder
pretty
Woman?
powerful.
I'd love to see her move a mountain.
Move mountains with your period.
Yeah.
There's the next Photoshop challenge.
If we choose to. And it's a different kind of power than what men have. It's not better, it's just different. And women
Just
have been
bloodier.
suppressed for
Yeah.
What
thousands
power?
of
What
years.
we have a power too? What's our power?
See, I found it interesting that she just made this a competition between men and women.
Yeah, in her own head.
Why? Yeah, why? What? We're not even talking about men. Why did she bring up men, and why did she then say who's better? Because that's what's on her mind. She has a chip on her shoulder.
Inferiority complex.
Oh, your words, not mine.
I say again, it's
I'm just saying. Well, I'm not saying that she's inferior. I'm saying she thinks she's.
it's
inferior.
the issue
Yes.
that it's the issue that like I said, she's had her period around a guy who then didn't want to deal with the period, and now she feels bad for some reason. She internalized what is a completely normal reaction.
Yes. And it's like she wants us to say, look, you're a great person, you can move mountains, you're smart, you're attractive, you have a lot of talents. You also are a human being and a female, so you have your period. No problem, just it's a little bit gross, but okay. There's a lot of shit that's gross in the world. You know, come to me into the bathroom with me. And look at me and I'll show you some gross shit. Okay. It's not like we can all relate to this.
It's not even a big deal, really.
Reese, the percentage of times in your life you've smelled your fingers. How good of an experience has that been?
That's something I want to subject everyone to now.
I mean, have you not farted in your hand and smelled it? True or false?
Awesome.
Yes.
And did you not? Okay, but wait a minute. Have you not been in the situation where you knew that you were about to fart, but it was going to be a rancid, poison bomb of a fart? So you're like, oh God, I want to sample this one, almost like some sort of wine expert. I want to just get the.
We're definitely sadomasochists here.
Yeah, just oh God, just to think, God, I created that. I mean, that's shame.
I'm a creator. No. See, I created that. I can create things. People need to appreciate this about me. It's beautiful. She also said that women create life. They don't create life by themselves.
No, that's not a thing that can happen.
Yeah, no, women just spontaneously have babies form inside them.
Yeah. That's what the Bible taught me.
And
true.
therefore, periods have been made taboo on purpose. And culture has created a paradigm in which we are conditioned, programmed to not want anything to do with it. Because if we did, God forbid, we would understand how powerful we actually are.
Oh, give me a break. It's not, first of all, how is it taboo to have your period? It's literally not taboo, but it's an issue that nobody wants to glorify and talk about if it's not necessary. Same thing with breast milk and breastfeeding in public, which is totally different depending on what country you're in. America's kind of hung up about that. But even that, which is just an obvious biological function, and you know, it's not super gross, but it's not like something you want to see if you're, you know, at the supermarket or you know, sipping on your coffee out at Starbucks. I mean, is she going to bitch about breast milk too?
How is not wanting to come into contact with or be obsessed with period blood not acknowledging that women carry children?
Right.
I don't understand.
It's not taboo, but it's people like this who have an obsession with it that make us all have to focus on it. And ironically, she perpetuates what she would view as an oppression then, because we all come out and say, no, we're not actually fans of periods. Oh my God, look at all this patriarchy around me.
You know what? I think the hag might have said something that was at the heart of this issue, which is I think there was a sexual encounter that she had with her boyfriend, and he was repulsed by her period.
Yes.
And said, look, this is canceled. We're not doing this anymore. And that's what triggered this. Because aside from that, what else do you want to talk about when it comes to your period?
Yeah.
Like, how are we supposed to celebrate this? What do you want? A parade? Like, how are we supposed to acknowledge this for you? Should we wear red? Like it's St. Patrick's Day, except for women?
Well, it's like, do you want your boyfriend one day, like when you wake up and you're like, oh, I'm on my period, like, girl power, high five, yeah, that's proof that you can still conceive. Like, I don't. What behavior do you want?
I'm gonna wear a T-shirt that says like, you know, my girlfriend's on her period, and I'm super proud and cool with that. Like what? I'm with this vaginal blood flow, and an arrow pointing to her pussy.
Feminist flow.
when we're on our period. Not just when we're on our period, of course, but especially when we're on our period. And I'm not an expert in this field at all. I barely even know how the reproductive...
Thanks for clarifying. I was on the fence on that. I was sure you were.
I could have swore you were a doctor.
Really thinking, this is a credible source, right, guys?
Yeah.
And by the way, an expert on what? On
periods.
The taboo of period blood?
I don't know.
Reproduction? What is she not an expert on?
On femininity, or I don't know.
I believe reproduction.
Okay.
The system works. I'm just trying to get a hang of my own cycle, but all I know is that...
Oh, was there bulimia or anorexia involved in your cycle being fucked up?
There it is. If you're 20-something and you haven't gotten the hang of your cycle, something wrong.
Yeah.
There's some trauma in that history.
Mm-hmm.
Some horseback riding in that past.
I'm no longer willing to pretend like it's not happening, because if I do, I'm actually stifling my own ability to grow. I'm stifling my ability to tap into my power and claim my power, because I'm still trying to leave a part of me behind.
What?
Okay. So pretend like that's not happening is the translation of that is just not talk about it. I don't think it's a topic to be discussed. If you're in a social environment, you're not just going to bring up, hey, I'd like to share some things about my period with you. Maybe if you're with your girlfriend, you say, oh God, got a heavy flow. I'm guessing that might be a conversation in the girls' locker room or something. But what else is there to say? I mean, what is the alternate reality of the utopia of non-taboo period world? Like, what does that look like even?
Well, you see, if she's allowed to speak her mind on this, she will grow and tap into her inner powers.
Yeah, I mean, like, if I had the shits, and I come on here, and we're having a podcast, and I go, guys, just real quick, I don't want to hide and tiptoe around the fact that I have the shits right now.
Yeah.
And I think you guys need to recognize and be cool with that. Otherwise, you're discrediting my power as a man.
Yeah, you're discrediting my power to move feces from my bowels. Don't you understand?
How can I deny your creation, Devin?
No, I made it. Okay.
It's beautiful. Jesus.
Yeah, you know there are people that keep their shits in little plastic baggies. This woman's the period equivalent.
That nasty.
Man, that sounds like a good YouTube video.
I've known people who save their foreskin.
Thanks for the nightmares.
Sorry.
And I'm not willing to do that anymore, and I encourage you to...
Don't hide your power, girl.
...to ask yourself if you're not willing to do that anymore, and whether you're man or woman, it doesn't matter. You change your beliefs around it, you change your opinions, your feelings, your reactions to things, and the world must shift.
I can't change my reactions. They just kind of happen.
Change. Listen and change.
I expect everyone around me to change.
Yeah, did she just say that out loud?
Yes.
Yeah. Again, people are pretty cool with periods, I find, especially if it's your girlfriend or significant other. What is the worst reaction you're going to get? I've had sex with women on their period. Gladly. I demanded it. I actually coerced them and forced them to do it. I should not have admitted that in public. No, but you know what I'm saying? Like, haven't you guys?
Yeah, I've talked the girl into, it's like, no, I'm on my period, it's so weird. No, fuck, let's just go to the bathroom. It'll be clean in there. We'll just fucking take a shower afterwards. Don't worry about it. Let's get this on.
Yeah, people at large are not offended by this.
I did the advanced level of the game, which is I said, okay, vagina's off the table. Let's use that period blood to lubricate the asshole.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Get in there.
It's the only way you can take that. You know, life gives you bloody lemons, turn it into anal lemonade.
Quote him on that.
Yeah, seriously. Quote mine that one. But in all seriousness, I mean, the only time I've ever been upset with a woman when, you know, there was sex and a period involved is when she didn't know and I didn't know and the lights were all out. And then I fucking get up out of bed, turn the light on, and it looks like a murder scene. I think, I mean, that was awful. And I ruined, like, a whole set of sheets.
Who did you kill, Hagbard?
I mean, there's fucking bloody handprints on the wall and shit. I mean, it was really terrifying.
Looks like an asylum.
What I like is the coloration on the penis, your penis, afterwards, where it's like, it's not pure blood, like red, but it's kind of pinkish. It's like a purple tinge. It's the essence of blood as remains on your dick.
Yeah, it's very bizarre.
So it starts within us. The conversation has to be the first step.
So does the blood.
And once the conversation is started, you know, there's so much room to explore and grow and heal together. But until we're willing to talk,
Like, what are you healing? What is broken in you that you feel this desperate need to heal?
You know what it is? She's almost acting like periods aren't normal. Like, it's nothing to heal from. It just happens, and then it stops, and you're fine.
Yes, she's weirding out. She's projecting. But, you know, I don't want to be unsensitive about this, but she kind of sounds like she's PMSing right now.
Oh, Kevin's such a misogynist, dismissing her opinions.
Fantastic.
And that is actually, that is one of the problems, is they have to acknowledge that this biological function, granted, it's glorious and beautiful and powerful, but it does have control over them emotionally. And, you know, it takes over their attitude towards any given moment. So that's a problem, and that's a weakness. That's something that's not good. I mean, if they could snap their fingers and not have that, they would do that.
Yeah.
And men have had to endure centuries and eons of putting up with bitchy women who are, you know, biologically prone to be bitches during that moment of time.
It's true.
Yeah, the emotional state is absolutely at an all-time high.
So then to turn around and be offended that people are somewhat grossed out by this and don't accept it as a beautiful thing is ridiculous.
Yes, and it's not a beautiful thing. This is on the list of things that are good and bad about women. This is on the bad side. This is like, you got to listen to her poetry, and you got to put up with her bitchy attitude when she is on her period.
Yeah, that's about it.
There's a lot of good stuff, and I'm not saying men don't have bad stuff. We definitely do. I mentioned our balls earlier. But it's like, we got to be real here.
Absolutely.
about it,
Oh, that's
no
it?
progress can be made. So if this has resonated with you in any way, if you know anyone,
Nope. You are not going to plug. No one gets to
Please
plug
share
on my
my
show.
video.
Nope.
Fuck you.
No one gets
All
to
right.
plug on my show.
That had I only had a couple hundred, from what I remember. You know what? We're just gonna dive right into it. Moderate Muslims gather to fight terrorism. I wonder who it could be.
Is that just a triggering statement?
It's a very triggering statement.
Are those fighting words?
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, that to me sounds like, we who are about to die salute you, because
Well,
I'm about to go into battle.
Guess who it is?
Here,
Gank.
The Buffalo.
Oh, I know this one.
There are some that say after a terrorist attack done by a Muslim, where are the moderate Muslims? Why won't they say anything?
Yeah.
Already a good face.
Yeah, so he's talking about Indonesian Muslims, and if you want to look at the humanitarian rights violations of Indonesian people, it's long, and it is a disaster. One of the things they do in Indonesia is they check to see if women are virgins before they give them jobs in the government. Like, that's the official policy.
Yeah, that's not a joke.
I mean, yeah.
I wonder how that's done.
Right, but blood is again involved. I mean, this period girl would have a lot of problems with that.
Devin, you don't understand. In Indonesia, all they do is cane homosexuals. That's not that bad.
Right. So once again, the entire point of this video, you know what he's doing. It's Muslim apologetics, but it's, hey, people talk about a problem a lot. There's a lot of problems in the world. Here's a non-problem. So those two things should have now canceled out.
No,
do you understand?
You can't possibly believe this doesn't end in fuck white people.
How dare you be critical of people's beliefs?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I found them. Actually, we've been saying it all along that there are in fact moderate Muslims. We just found an incredibly large collection of them in Indonesia doing an event, so I wanted to tell you about them so you could tell those folks the next time they say, "Where are they?"
Oh, so halfway around the world, not involved in the region that we're typically having problems with.
And moderation is on a scale. If I'm a moderate fan of Nirvana, that means one thing. If I'm a moderate member of a death cult, that's a different thing.
Yeah.
By the way, 1.2 billion members of this cult believe in Sharia law. Now, if you classify a believer in Sharia, somebody who supports the idea of Sharia law, if that's a moderate, then we need to have a long discussion about what moderation means and what it means in the context of this discussion about Islam.
You know, it's these kinds of videos that really cement to me how much of a joke this show is. Because it's always worse when it's just Jank giving one of his rants, I find. And there's no one to even partially challenge him on anything. This is such a non-story. What the fuck is he even talking about?
And it's a non-story that is taking up airtime over actual stories. So he's not going to cover 1,000 other problems that come out of the Muslim world, like current events, things that have happened this week that he could have done a full story on and shed light on. He's not doing that because and this is again beating his chest just like the other Muslim. I am a Muslim. Well, I used to be. My family is, my friends, my heritage, all that. My identity is Muslim. I need to uplift the image of what it means to be a Muslim. Therefore, here's a shiny, beautiful, fresh story of some Muslims not killing people. So
he pretty much just admitted it. He was like, "Hey guys, I found this and wanted to show it to you because it fits my narrative."
Mm-hmm.
He just says that out loud. What a fucking moron!
This is like saying a member of NAMBLA I saw a video of him. He was out walking his dog and he was petting his dog. He was really a kind dog lover, almost like Hitler. Very good dogs, and so not all NAMBLA members are a problem. So what's your big deal? You're the bigot. Fuck you.
Yeah, you're the one who's taking this whole group of people and judging them on that. It's ridiculous.
So this is called the International Summit of Moderate Islamic Leaders.
Oh, because we all know that as long as you self-title something like that, it's completely fine.
I hate the way he reads. Ugh.
Yes. Have you heard about the Coalition of Moderate Rapists?
Yeah.
It's a new thing. Yeah, they just came out and define all those words for me, please.
This is 1984 as fuck. I mean, it's literally the Ministry of Truth at this point.
It's true.
We just put a title on it that the people like, and it's fine. They don't know the difference. They're stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's very clear. Well, what are they doing over there? Are they really addressing the issue? Well, Huffington Post explains, Muslim leaders from around the world met in Jakarta this week to address the religious aspects of extremism and terrorism.
Oh, so they acknowledge that it's a problem.
Oh, so they're not as fanatically insane as some other Muslims.
Yeah,
wow.
That's good.
Great point. Now, is anybody arguing the point that radicals are more extreme than moderates? We understand there are differences within the Muslim world. Now, which group do you think is worthy of our time to discuss? Which is more relevant right now? The ones who are not causing as much of a problem, or the ones who are?
Yeah, who's worth doing a story on? Like, for real. I also love... Oh, sorry, go.
Well, you go to the doctor and you say, Doc, I am pissing blood. I think I have cancer of the balls. And he says, yeah, well, you also have a hangnail. So let's discuss this hangnail. I think it's kind of a nasty one. Let me clear that up for you. It's like, wait a minute. Why are you talking about this thing that is irrelevant? It's not the bigger problem. And in his mind, the big problem is the perception of Muslims.
Yeah.
So he is striding forward on a crusade to, hide the truth of the situation, which is that Muslims commit 99.7% of the deaths caused by terrorism. Bottom line.
Absolutely. And I also love how it's like these people, they gathered to address the religious aspects of extremism and terrorism. You mean the aspects that you won't even acknowledge, Jane?
Yes, and they're willing to because they actually have read all the texts and understand, oh God, this book is particularly violent.
And I wonder if other religions will be brought up in this video. If not, he does it in every other video. But it's the same lunacy as when that woman who was talking about her period and talking about the power of women then decided to compare men and say, ooh, this is a competition between men. Let me talk about men. But men is not the topic here. And in this case, Christianity is not the topic. And yet they get worked in.
They're tackling the issue right at its center. So they're saying, I'm sure that they also talked about political reasons, etc., but they said, look, we should also talk about the religious reasons for this. And as Muslims, we have a duty to make sure that they don't represent Islam.
Do you see how uncomfortable this makes him that other Muslims are actually having to acknowledge that it is something to do with Islam?
He instantly brought up, there must be political reasons.
Yeah.
There must
of
be.
Course. I love that this meeting, this sit-down of a bunch of Asian crazy people in some far corner of the world, that's going to do wonders for our problems. I'm sure they're 90% of the way to wrapping this problem up.
I mean, they really speak for Islam. They have such influence.
It's just such meaningless window dressing. It's
exactly. I'm sure, because I actually looked into this when this video first came out after Billy Bong did his thing, and this meeting did occur, and there was a sizable population. But when they say from around the world, they mean there was like one Saudi, one imam from Iraq, one imam from Pakistan, and then a bunch of them from just this region. That's what they mean.
And by the way, they expect our approval and our applause for the fact that these dudes are against beheading and burning people alive.
Yeah, these guys are willing to go against their own principles as religious people and not do what they've been told to do by their God.
Oh, let's ask the question: was anti-Semitism brought up at this meeting? Was equal rights for women or gays? Oh, really? No, it wasn't. Okay, how about honor killing? Was that brought up? No, that's not extreme. No. We're talking about ISIS. It's ISIS or bust.
Yeah.
I also really love, because Cenk, again, he immediately just goes to, we don't want this to represent Islam. We don't want ISIS to represent Islam, which is a complete just fuck up on what the actual problem is. Instead of addressing any problem of worth, it is perception.
Mm-hmm. My question is, when did following and dedicating your life to a pedophile, warlord, beheading, rapist, when was that not extreme? How did we, because a lot of people do it, now it's no longer extreme. You can make that case. To say I believe in an invisible man in the sky. To me, that's an extreme statement. But really, by the numbers, it's not extreme. It's actually normal. That's commonplace.
Yeah, I guess once enough people are doing it, then it's fine, no problem.
Oh, it's not normal or moderate. It's just there's enough people that side with that philosophy that it's popular.
I mean, really, Devin, what's normal? What's what's extreme? I don't know. Very triggering words.
I mean, this is why I say being straight is normal, and people don't understand that, and that starts a fight every time.
It is.
And being gay is normal for gay people. But if you're taking a look at society as a whole, it's actually normal to be straight. By the numbers, math.
Yeah.
That's it.
And to fight back against that particular strand of fundamentalism. So they talked about that throughout the conference. But now the right-wingers here would say, it's probably 2 or 3 guys. So they're not big, right? The majority of Muslims, believe the wrong things, right? Well, let's take a look. More than 300 religious leaders.
Let me clarify. I'm a left wing, by the way. All Muslims believe the wrong thing.
300 people.
Not the majority. And by the way, 300 religious leaders. Oh, great. Zippity doodah, dude.
What a conference.
I'm closing in on 47,000 people on my channel from 150 countries. So, God, amazing. I'm not impressed.
Yeah, we have like a third of that watching. Are we suddenly some peace conference right now?
Yeah. Wait a minute. All we have to do is chastise the acts of ISIS, and suddenly we're an international peace conference.
Yeah,
of course. And once we come out and say the painfully obvious statement, I am against suicide bombings.
Yeah.
Oh, look at us. So peaceful, so moderate.
Mm-hmm.
From 33 countries attended the 2-day summit, as well as President Joko Widodo and Vice President Yusuf Kala.
Joko Widodo. That's my new pen name, man.
Seriously.
Of Indonesia. So president and the vice president attending, all those different countries, a ton of religious leaders. And what was their purpose? We gather here today for that purpose, they explain, to produce a solution to curb radicalism in the form of terrorism, wars, and conflicts.
All we are saying is give peace a chance. God, these guys are just so edgy, man.
Yeah.
They just solve everything.
Well, luckily, yeah, by going to this conference, they've absolutely guaranteed that no more people are going to commit any acts of terrorism, right?
Well, you know what I'm waiting for? This conference equates to basically a nuke of logic and peace, and we're just waiting for the shockwave of that event to hit us out here. It's going to take a while. It's got to get over the Atlantic, but it's coming.
Yeah, it'll happen.
So here are all of these moderate Muslims from across the world getting together in Indonesia and fighting back against radicalism. The reason that...
Rattlesnake.
300 people.
Right, 300 of them. 300 of them. There's over 100,000 members of ISIS. That doesn't even sniff the supporters of ISIS, which is even more alarming and is like a clear and present danger to our existence, to humanity.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, I'm all for reformers, but I would need to look further into it, but I doubt that's what this was about. Like, was this conference really about, like, okay, we need to point out some very problematic parts of Islam that leads...
Majid Nawaz was not there.
No way.
He would have been beheaded.
Even here.
you don't hear about it on Fox News is not because it isn't there, it's because Fox News is choosing not to cover it.
Kind of like you don't hear about Muslim terrorist attacks on the Young Turks, not because it's not there, but because they don't want you to hear about that shit.
How can he even say that? Like, I'm gonna point for him to point out
also,
anyone else's bias is laughable.
Yes, and also that's not an equation. Actually, it's actually fine that Fox News didn't cover that because it's not an important story. But terrorist events and the killing of humans is an important story, and they don't cover that.
Yes. There's people always bitching about how, why aren't there any positive representations of Muslims in the media?
Yeah, there's a place
news
for
isn't
that.
positive. They don't show positive stories.
There's a website you can go to that's called Upworthy, and it's filled with soccer moms and pussies and regressives who want to feel good about their morning. Go to Upworthy.
I've never even heard of that.
We want to live in the real world.
Yeah, I've never even heard of that. That's a real website?
Oh, for sure, dude. It's super popular.
Ugh, gross. Yeah, that's where I'm going to get my news.
Oh, that's amazing.
Here. They say on Tuesday at the end of the summit, the attendees published the
Jakarta Declaration, something that I'm sure will remedy all the problems.
Oh, yeah, this is pretty much the Magna Carta over here.
Not since the Geneva Convention has something this important come out of such a shithole.
We signed a piece of paper, therefore radicalism is over.
Yeah, fantastic.
We do declare.
Sorry, ISIS, you can't do this no more.
Yeah, you're done now. We've signed this paper over in Indonesia.
Look, we said no. We said no more.
Yeah.
Screw you guys. I'm going home.
Declaration calling for an international coalition of religious groups and governments to dismantle the religious backing of extremism and terrorism. So,
I mean, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I just don't.
Are they jumping in and declaring a war on terrorism?
It sounds that way in a manner.
2 decades after the fact. Way to keep abreast. Jesus.
Well, you know, most of the Muslim world
is like Russia declaring war on Japan after we dropped the first bomb. Like,
how about this? Put your money where your mouth is. Strap up your AK-47s and march into Syria and start killing Muslims.
Yeah, well,
not the good ones. Oh, not all. The bad ones, the ISIS ones.
Yeah, and to be fair, I mean, you can't blame them. Most of the Islamic world is at least 20 years behind the West. At least. So.
At least 200 years, at least.
I love what they're doing here. I love that they're fighting back. Now, I'm not Muslim, but...
Try again, Jank. You're clearly Muslim.
You are close enough.
I'm not Muslim.
Yeah.
You might, if you have to continue saying that, what does that say about you?
Right. I'm not Muslim. So in other words, I am objective here. I don't have a dog in this race. Okay, my family is. I used to be. I spent my entire life dedicated to apologizing for these people. But yeah, I'm just conflict-free over here.
Hey, look, guys, I'm secular. I'm on the front lines. I'm all for science, but they're people, and they're good Americans, and I'm going to defend them. And if you want to attack them, you need to come through me.
This is the same jackass that has been calling himself agnostic for years. And everybody was like, dude, you're an atheist. By definition, it's like, you don't believe in God, you're an atheist. End of story. And finally, he'll mention it begrudgingly after twisting his arm on that stupid point.
Because then he has to be associated with new atheists.
Ooh, neo-atheists.
And I'm not religious overall, but anytime moderates fight back within any religion and say, hey, we should focus on the peaceful and the loving parts of that religion.
Any religion, huh?
Any religion.
Right.
I like we're back to just religion.
You are just a crazily noble anti-theist, man. I'm sure Christopher Hitchens isn't rolling over in his grave hearing this tepid bullshit response to the horror of religion.
Yeah.
And not the radical fundamentalism and not the violent parts. That is a great thing for all of us. So it's a great thing that they're doing the International Summit of Moderate Islamic Leaders. And the next time somebody tells you, where are the moderates? Now you know.
Indonesia.
Right. Yeah, 300 of them in Indonesia.
Yep.
And by the way, they're not even moderate.
Yep.
They're all I have issue with every single one of them. But, Cenk, is the next video going to be about the hundreds of millions of people who support terrorism?
Look at that face.
Screen cap.
Derpitude. No, it's not. It's not going to be the next video. It's going to be, that's it.
Yeah.
Here's a little bullshit story I just cherry-picked about 300 dudes who said some nice prose signifying nothing, and moving on.
Yep,
Yeah,
and that proves Islam is perfect.
what is supposed to be the goal of this conference? Like, really? Or is it just a place, oh, we can come together and point out some problems? And then what? Just, that's
Okay.
it.
Reese, my apartment is filled with poisonous vipers. Okay, I got about 30 of them. If they touch me, they will kill me. Okay, one bite, I'm done. There's no antidote around. But there's some other snakes. It's a different kind of snake. It's a boa constrictor. It is poisonous, but a little bit less poisonous than the vipers. So if anybody ever asks you, is there less poisonous snakes around? There they are.
Yeah.
The boa constrictors all gather to talk about your predicament, and they're going to come up with some solutions. You're in good hands.
So do not focus your life on the black mambas at your feet.
No.
Think of the garden snake.
No, don't be bigoted against the black mambas. They're just snakes. They're all snakes.
Yes.
The snakes. Yeah.
And yes, I just compared Muslims to snakes,
Yep.
and I stand by it.
Yep.
Yeah,
And we
they
were all
compared Jews
comfortable
to
with it.
pigs,
Sorry.
so whatever. Oh my god. Yeah, we're doing good in time. I think we might do one more, maybe. I don't know. What are you thinking, Hagbar? Did you have one?
I
that you
don't have
wanted
a
to do?
favorite. It's all pain.
Oh, you know what? These women are feminists and Muslim. I've been meaning to play this too.
When you think about stereotypes that Americans have,
I hate you so much. This is on CNN.
Stereotypes.
This is on CNN
do you
Money.
realize
Yes, it
I'm
is.
at the point. Oh God, CNN.
Not just that,
so
money.
shameful.
Somehow this is on CNN's
Okay.
financial. Why?
It is.
Right. When I hear somebody say stereotype, you know what my thought is now? I think, who said the stereotype? Because they probably had a great point. They probably are trying to be honest about a situation. The only time people have problems with stereotypes is when they are negative in nature. And this goes back to what I was talking about with hate speech and how I just got a strike for it. I have never once gotten a strike for love speech.
Nope.
I can make the same generalizations, the same not all bullshit arguments. The only thing people have wrong or a problem with stereotypes is the not all. They're saying, ooh, you just said something that is generally true, but it's not all. Anecdotal evidence for the win. That's all they come back with.
Yeah.
So the person who's right in this equation is the guy who did the stereotyping.
Exactly.
And once again, there is no word. We don't have a word. Just like we don't have a word for rightful repulsion. We don't have a word for rightful fact-based stereotypes.
Yeah. For some reason, stereotype has an inherently negative connotation.
Mm-hmm.
Where in reality, it's like, okay, if 60% of all the people I've ever come into contact with held these characteristics, why would I not presume those? It's not at the detriment of. It's not that I then cannot take in other data when I meet new people. That's not the issue. The issue is operating in that. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. It's just even worse when it comes to a religious ideology, because it's not like race or anything. It's not like you can choose this. You can choose to be viewed as this. You can choose to wear the headwear that we're going to see later in this video. These are all choices. I am allowed to judge someone based on their life choices.
Yeah.
And what they believe. And what they believe, I can also determine from the lifestyle that they've chosen.
Yeah. I mean, look, you guys, people live in these black and white worlds where they want things to be simple, all or nothing. If I said to you, sea turtles on the beach, they're going to make a run for the water, but a bunch of them are going to get killed. In fact, 7 out of 10 of them are going to get killed by birds of prey. And then they're going to come back with, wait a minute, do all of them make it to the ocean, or do none of them? No, I just told you 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Okay, but you're stereotyping the fucking sea turtles. It's like, no, I'm not. I understand the stats.
Yeah. Yeah. If you were to say 75% of sea turtles born don't make it to adulthood. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but 25% do. Yeah, but you can't generalize and say most of them die.
You cannot hold two pieces of information. Two pieces of information cannot coexist in your brain at one time.
No.
You cannot have a deep understanding of anything. You're just going to blanket it with all or nothing.
when you think about stereotypes that Americans have of Muslim women today in this country, what are they?
Subjugated, backwards, voiceless, meek.
Oh, it's the girl with the damn nose ring again.
Yeah,
Fuck.
she's back.
Okay. First of all, what's up with the xylophone in the background? Xylophones are not prevalent in the Muslim world. That's an African thing. My family, I play xylophone, so I don't know what that's about.
It's
Second
cultural
of all,
appropriation.
this is the first world assimilated American, watered down, neutered version of Islam, a version of Islam that would put them in prison or have them killed in other parts of the Muslim world. Keep that in mind. And Muhammad would spit in their face and execute them immediately if they had a conversation after 10 minutes. So let's also bear that in mind. But continue.
Victimized,
Always covered, like from head to toe.
We're not intelligent.
Not all.
Evil.
Well, you see how some of them are? Do you see how that happened?
Yeah, right. Not all are covered, and okay. Right. Not all are subjugated and meek, but some are. Probably disproportionate, but let's not talk about that. It's not all.
Yeah, maybe because not all of them are as controlled by their religion.
Exactly.
Right. And by the way, those who have freedoms and shit come from those freedoms. It's not because they are these cavalier crusaders for freedom and equal rights for women. It's because they come from secular nations who have bitch slapped any religion who would even think to do that. And more to the point, it's because there's not enough Muslims in their region to enforce their barbaric laws.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's why.
They're really going to sit here and badmouth the societies that give them the freedoms they do have, and they're hearkening back to, no, wouldn't it be so much better with Islam? No, it wouldn't. It really would not.
Right.
Thank you for the
Why
offer,
are these
though.
women not just in Saudi Arabia right now?
Yeah.
Isn't
that
the
better?
home base?
Well, I
Shouldn't that
believe
be more spiritually fulfilling for them?
I believe they'd be more comfortable in Pakistan. They look to be Pakistani, and in Saudi Arabia they'd have to put on the full beekeeper's outfit, and they're just doing the Haji, so it's fine. They'll be fine in Pakistan. Yes, this is them. This is them transcending right here. This is them transcending.
violent,
Oppressed.
oppressed.
Super oppressed.
Forced into marriage.
I don't think that Muslim women.
Oh God! Unstereotype.
Oh, now we're just
what a
making shit
twist!
up.
What a massive twist. Okay, so I like how when they're saying oppressed, and the editor decided to show you smiling Muslim women during that. Now, I'm a video editor. I could splice a couple images in that go well with that word oppression, and it might give you a different impression of the oppression that exists in the Muslim world towards women. Them trying to pretend that that's not an issue is scandalously immoral. And it spits on the fucking memory of the dead women who have died from honor killings or from fucking getting stoned to death. This year, women are being stoned to death. But wait a minute, Devin, you're getting ahead of yourself. It's not all. This woman in fucking San Francisco is not covering up, so no issue.
Yeah, no. The real issue is Americans who see the way Muslim women are dressed and then have like assumptions based off of that. That's the real problem in the world.
Yes. Cue the xylophone music and call CNN money to debunk this.
Yeah, exactly. I think we can all just be happy at xylophone music and not fucking the ukulele like it usually is. About 95% of the time. Yeah.
Are just being told.
Oh.
Gummy.
Oh, those teeth.
Those are Indian gums.
Oh.
Oh, it looks like it's
anymore.
our friend.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
I have agency.
I consider myself a feminist.
Many of the stereotypes that Muslims.
Oh no, Muslim feminist. Come on.
Yeah,
For all
buddy.
the problem I have with feminism, I mean, oh Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
This is worse than gays for Palestine.
Yeah, this is gays
So
for
much worse.
Palestine. For all intents and purposes, this is gays for Palestine.
Gay Muslim feminist for Palestine.
Yeah.
American women face. You're seeing them on television that they are oppressed by their male relatives.
Defenders of Islam insist it is a peaceful religion. Others disagree and point to the primitive treatment in Muslim countries of women and other minorities.
They also.
Yes.
What's with the crew behind them?
They also separate the sexes.
Yeah.
I think people have an issue with separate but not equal. Not sure if that's going to really stand the test of time as a policy.
Yeah.
And did they mean to order these girls by like size?
It does look that way.
Keep women and homosexuals immiserated in these cultures.
Oppressed and hidden.
Imprisoned behind a mask.
Oh God, Sam Harris is the problem.
Yeah.
Sam, how dare you stereotype? Sam, you need to unstereotype that. There are no Muslim women oppressed in society. That doesn't exist, Sam.
No Muslims or homosexuals immiserated in
Guys,
Muslim culture.
I got two words for you. Garden snakes. They aren't poisonous. What is your fucking thing about black mambas?
Yeah. Why are you so obsessed with this concept that some snakes can kill you? I mean, really.
I like this too because what Sam Harris was talking about, a lot of the people that we end up defending are Muslim. Like the people who are oppressed and people who are in danger of acts of violence. Like we're not like, oh my God, kill all the Muslims.
Yeah.
These are the people we're in.
I say, admittedly, we want to help them to not be Muslim anymore. But I mean, that's secondary as long as they just stop.
Issue. Getting them out of harm's way is the priority.
Dude, that's the same thing with me talking about black crime. Who do you think I'm helping?
Yeah.
The victims of black crime, which is 93% black people.
No, Devin, you're clearly racist. How dare you even bring it up?
Yeah.
It's awful. Now, the women in the world who are being oppressed in the Muslim world, who do you respect more? Who do they think is on their side? Sam Harris or these women pretending it doesn't exist? Saying, ooh, I found an example of a smiling Muslim woman who doesn't feel oppressed. So let's literally not talk about the millions of women who suffer daily, who are being totally stripped of every human right.
I mean, it's so shocking to me. Media representation is a first world problem, if there ever was one. And yeah, you're right. They're ignoring a huge issue. And when the people who bring up that issue, oh my God, bigots! How dare they stereotype an entire group of people, an entire region?
Yeah. The offense is stereotyping. The offense is just a math problem. Oh, are you saying all? No, I'm not saying all. I'm saying this exact percentage. Well, we can argue a percentage. It's not none. But that entire conversation is shelved, and they're just saying, look, here's some who are not. Here's some people who are not feeling the oppression. So therefore, what? What is the therefore?
Yeah, exactly. Therefore, nobody should be able to feel any oppression. Nobody has ever been forced to do this. Nobody. The story that happened in New York where the Muslim man went into the school and dragged his daughter or niece or something out by her hair because she wasn't wearing her hijab. But women aren't forced to wear the hijab, right?
I mean, I wear mine as a choice.
So since I've been brainwashed and it hasn't had to be physically enforced on me, it's fine.
Just a choice, Agbart. Come on. How dare we judge people for the choices they make?
While there are some circumstances where you will have extreme abuse of women, if you're looking at the average Muslim woman in the United States, that stereotype doesn't apply as a blanket statement. After 9/11,
Okay, a blanket statement.
Not all.
The translation of that is all. It's
Yeah,
not all.
not all.
And by the way, this is another situation of a conflict of interest. This woman, look at that face. That face screams Muslimness. I mean, she's modeled her hair after some white, stereotype of beauty or whatever. But look, this is horseshit. This is propaganda.
Yeah.
Let's get a Jewish woman in there as the news person to talk about this. Let's get a man. Let's get a human rights activist, somebody who has a perspective and knowledge about this issue and doesn't have a vested interest in pretending it's not real.
Yeah, which it very clearly is to anybody who's been observing reality in an accurate manner.
new stereotype was that she was a threat to security. She is a co-conspirator.
What the older suspect's wife really knew.
Examples of that, though.
Yeah, San Bernardino.
Yeah, like it's not just men. Now, granted, it's mostly men, but there are women extremists, so it's perfectly plausible. I've talked about this on the show too. Like sometimes I've gone to the airport and gotten pulled over for a more thorough search. Why? Because I look like the shooter. Yeah. Like I'm the pale, skinny white guy. I don't take offense to this.
No, more than I ever
You're
have.
probably gonna be the shooter one day.
Oh yes.
I say, and what was it? What was the description that you gave me when you ended up meeting me? Was it Columbine shooters? I think.
Oh, you're one trench coat away.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not an inaccurate description, and trust me, the airport recognized that as well.
Those wives went home to watch their husbands knock down the World Trade Center.
How could she not know what was going on in such a tiny place?
All it takes is one person to do one bad act, and the entire group is maligned. And
what? Wait, the entire group, meaning
yeah,
the
there was
family
just
unit?
there was just one bad action. That's all it was.
Yeah, and nobody's blaming the wives if they're not responsible. Just take it on a case-by-case basis. But Jesus, what a ridiculous thing. Again, they're talking about terrorists. So they're acknowledging that the husband is out killing people. But let's not blame the wives. We don't know for sure. She was a conspirator in this. I mean, dude, how about a mention of the dead people or the fact that there is a problem of terrorism within Islam? No? Okay, that's not the point.
Yeah, it's just instant defensiveness. Like the dead don't even get a mention most of the time. It's just like, yeah, I guess people died, but really the big problem here, media representation. Oh no, don't think too badly. Don't be racist. Don't stereotype. Like no one's stereotyping. What we're doing is we're taking these ideas that people have, that people openly say they have, and judging them accordingly.
Until we can get to that point where we're treating minority groups the same way that we're treating majority groups, then we have a race problem, or we have a religion problem.
What an American bullshit narrative that was.
Yeah, wasn't it?
She turned this into a numbers game. So who cares that Muslims are a minority? We're judging people on their behaviors, on their actions, and on their ideas. It doesn't matter who's in the majority or the minority. We could have this discussion about Indonesia, Pakistan, fucking Germany. It doesn't matter. The same problem exists. It's terrorism. It's the ideals. It's the ideology at play. And her trying to turn this into race, it's nothing to do with race, lady.
No, it's 100% to do. 100%
I mean, come
to
on,
do
they're
with
a minority. You can't criticize a minority.
And you notice that she just said race, religion. She just laid those two down as the same thing.
Yeah, okay, fine. Let's transport this conversation from an American context to one of Pakistani, where it's 99% Muslim and where women are subjugated and oppressed. Would you like to have that segment, CNN Money? Oh, you don't. Gotcha.
We have a bias problem.
But there's a new generation of Muslim American feminists, and they're not going to be ignored.
They're fucking idiotic. Oh, do not try to scratch. Do not try to bring a DJ in here to go from xylophone to...
It's so hip.
Yeah, the modern age of feminist Muslims. And by the way, feminist Muslims, you're doing a shit job.
A very
First
shit
of all,
job.
You're a fucking joke. By the way, but I mean, look, what have you done? What is the list of accomplishments you have achieved as feminists, as Muslim feminists?
Enjoyed all of the freedoms that the West offers while simultaneously espousing the beliefs of a third world empire.
And shitting all over the society that gave them those rights.
And promoting themselves.
Yes.
This is just an act of narcissism.
Look who it is, Hagbard. It's our favorite.
I hate that nose ring. I really do. I mean, does she realize that the purpose of that in her culture is literally subjugation? You put a nose ring in a girl that's a slave. That's literally what Persian culture did. Does she not realize that she's saying I'm a slave?
She's appropriating her former oppression, and she's turned it into something beautiful, Hagbard. You must love it.
She's owning it.
We're like the trailblazers, like we're badasses. Our goal has been to make it so that it reaches a point where not a single conversation can be had in the media about Muslims, about Islam, or about Muslim women without our voices being included.
Well, that's going to be hard. You're like 1% of the population.
What is this powwow?
I don't know.
This is really weird.
You guys, I'm awesome because I'm a Muslim woman, and I believe women are awesome because I'm a woman and I'm awesome. Are you awesome too? Yes, I'm awesome too.
Yeah.
I'm a woman. I'm a Muslim woman. We're all awesome together.
And she just literally said we cannot allow a conversation to exist about us that doesn't directly include us.
Okay, let me ask you a question. This is nauseating to witness. Why are there no men in this circle? Why are there no non-Muslim people in this circle?
Yeah, because that's not how Islam works.
Question.
That's not how Islam works.
It's not how an echo chamber works. It's not how a self-congratulatory, circle jerk works. I mean, this is pathetic. If you're in a circle jerk, you don't invite a woman. Do you know why? Because she cannot add to the circle jerk. She's just going to be dead weight. So that's why you're not seeing any men in here. What, so men can't talk about feminism? Or you got Steve Shives. Or fuck feminism, that's the wrong term. Men can't talk about equal rights for women and the oppression of women? Or non-Muslims have no say in this fucking joke of a meeting?
Exactly.
Says a lot.
If they even try to have a conversation, these ladies will shut it down. They're badasses. They're trailblazers.
Not just
So
Muslim
badass.
opinions, but Muslim women opinions.
Okay, why would you feel the need to rise up if you hadn't previously been told you couldn't or shouldn't? You know non-oppressed people don't feel that, right?
I like how my opinion, it's not just an opinion, it's the opinion of a Muslim woman. So therefore, like, is it worth more?
Did she just prove my point exactly by saying that? Opinions, fuck your opinions. You're a Jewish man, fuck, why would I care what you have to say? I mean, no, we need Muslim women. You know why? This is like Pavlovian right here. If I say Muslim women, you smile and applaud. You know why? Because I'm a Muslim woman.
Yeah.
That's the ground zero. That's the fundamentals, emotionally and psychologically, is what is happening right here. It's just them applauding themselves. I mean, this is absurd. It doesn't even matter what opinion. Do you notice that? It's not valid. It's not great opinion. It's not well thought out. It's just the opinions of Muslim women. Why? Because they're the best.
Yeah, that's
Muslim
the
women,
identity
not Muslim
politics. That's the identity politics sickness, is that it doesn't matter what the message is anymore. It matters who says it.
Yes. Yes.
And the more garbage the message is, I mean, it almost is like an enabling factor to the old Goebbels' big lie. It's like, well, not only now, but now we've given these people arbitrary authority due to some perceived ideal.
Look at the art piece on that table, that hashtag
Oh
sculpture.
God.
I wanna take that thing and chuck it like
Yeah.
a ninja star and embed it into one of these women.
That's pretentious. Gross.
Mani founded MuslimGirl.net.
Yeah. Hashtag art. What?
Hashtag
She's
Muslim
20.
women do it better.
Muslim girl. Muslim women talk back.
Yeah. Well, you know,
this is
you're
Muslim.
allowed to talk back in a Western society.
Oh, do you see us black Muslims now? I thought there wasn't a race problem in Islam.
You know-
What happened?
I find it interesting that they called it Muslim girl and
Yeah.
not Muslim women.
Yeah.
Because I bet you it is millennials. I bet you it is children
Of course.
who view themselves as girl. You know what? Why aren't you talking about women? You're talking about women. You're not talking about girls. If you want to talk about girls, guess what? They're being raped in the Muslim world.
Yeah.
It's a fucking nightmare for Muslim girls.
And for the record, if they fight back against their new husbands, they tend to be killed.
So you named the channel and you named your company after an infantile version of what an adult should be. You know, a girl. I mean, and your thought process is the same. It follows suit.
It's so poppy.
Yeah.
And was named one of Forbes 30 under 30.
I think that for us as Muslim women, we've
Yeah, she was also on fucking The Daily Show or something recently.
Oh, I'm sure that wasn't political.
Oh
I'm
God,
sure that was-
it's. I actually
It's a
only
virtue
watch it.
signal.
I only watch it for the cringe now. I used to just watch The Daily Show. I just
fucking
watch
hell.
it because it's like watching a car accident or a slow motion train
Yeah.
wreck.
It's bad,
No, that
man.
South African guy's cancer.
I really feel bad. I'm not sure if it's him because sometimes he even looks into the camera like "Help me." Yeah, I've seen some pauses where he looks desperate, like the writers are gonna kill him.
Okay, here's what happens when you're choosing a panel of the 30 under 30 or something like that. You're gonna be like, okay, how should we base this? What are we doing? It's based on merit. Is it based on achievement? Okay, there's a bunch of dudes. I tried it that way. It turns out that we got a bunch of Jews and a bunch of dudes. Now that doesn't look good, and I don't want to put these male faces, and you know it's very not diverse right here. So what should we do? Okay, let's artificially manufacture it, and we need a quota. We have a quota. She got on because she's a Muslim woman, and now she's like beating her chest, going, "Aren't I great? I'm on this magazine." It's like, no, you're not great. You filled a need for a virtue signaling editor.
Exactly.
been robbed of the opportunity to just cultivate our own identities, you know, especially for millennial Muslim women like myself that have grown.
Well, there you go.
Is that the girl I said I'd fuck? I saw her from a new angle.
No, there are two women with nose rings. One of them is easily 280 pounds. One of them's probably like 130.
You're good, Devin. You're
Yeah,
safe.
this is the fat one. She didn't just gain 150 pounds in a shoot. That's a fucked edit.
This was the girl we covered last episode who said that Islam invented feminism.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and at least she just admitted
yeah.
it's mostly a movement of children.
Yeah, I think there's some thought process where Muhammad enshrined a couple rights for women that previously weren't there because the Persian Empire or whatever came before them was even more barbaric. You're not getting slow claps for that.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically it's the old claim of, oh, in this area, women used to, when they were born, their families would bury them alive if they didn't want a girl, and yada, yada, yada. Yeah, that's technically true. The infant death and intentional infanticide has been normalized in a lot of the ancient world. Because kids are expensive. I don't know if you realize that, but before we had like comfortable societies like this, that kid could really destroy your existence. So human beings did what human beings do. I mean, it is what it is.
Hagbard Salee, supporter of infanticide.
Well, yeah. Have you heard a crying child? I mean, if that child cries all the way through the night, bury that bitch. It's not going to make it.
So your last name is the first name of a woman. Very much like me.
Up in a post 9/11 era, all that we know is this assault on our identities, on our characters in the media.
And those media representations have real life consequences.
Oh my God, no.
An assault on them? So wait, reporting the acts of terror and saying who did them, that's an assault on your identity?
Yes.
Well, maybe you should check your identity. Like, fuck your identity.
Your identity might be shit.
I like that too. Like, this is it. Like, this is them saying the media representations have real life consequences. You know what has real life consequences? Islam.
No.
The media is the problem.
Yeah, it's not Islam. It's the media.
Reporting on stories that happen to involve Islamic terror a lot of the time is a problem.
Yeah, it's like people in America. The problem of brutality, it's mostly come from police. Police brutality, that's the problem. Wait a minute, what? I think you ignored a couple major things there.
Yeah.
And like the people who actually commit crime. Yeah.
Guys was like, oh, watch out before she blows up the building. Racism and
racism. What is this racism? They're trying to gravy train. They're trying to piggyback off the narrative and the guilt, by the way. The guilt associated with racism. Because racism, in their estimation, is just being unfair to a group of people. And hey, we're a group of people.
Yeah.
So why don't we claim that people are being unfair to us? Okay, cool. That's racism. What? No. No, it's not.
Yeah, the concept of that it's really absurd. It really is, because it's a joke.
Yeah.
It's a joke. It's a racialized joke. I don't like the term racist joke. It's a racialized joke. It's a joke about race.
Yes, and when I said to you that racism has two components, one is claiming that one race is superior to another, and the other is making generalizations, especially negative ones. So it's a not-all. Even though it might be true, it might not be. Let's not talk about it. You said something about a group of people, you're a racist. Okay, in this context, I lost my train of thought. In this context, I am blanking out on what I was going to say. And it was a good point, too.
It happens. But it really is. It really is a pain in the ass.
I can come back to it. Hold on, let me think. Oh, shit. Think.
Rack the brain.
I have nothing.
It's all right. It happens to the best of us. But, I mean, really, it's the concept that even calling it race is a problem. It's observable features. I wouldn't know that the girl sitting to her right or left was inherently Muslim. The girl on her right...
I got it. It's back to me, dude.
All right, good. I was just tap dancing.
Thank you. The sensitive part about when you call somebody a racist is, are you saying you're better than me? Are you saying that this group is better than that group? Or superior? Ooh, superiority. That's a triggering word. Well, we are. I am. Devin Tracy, I'm saying that everybody who's not a Muslim is superior to a Muslim.
Yeah.
Now,
in the aspect there.
And think about why I said that. And ask yourself, do you want to debate me? Come, send me an email. I'll debate you on that point. And I'll prove it to you in public. And I'll shame you. And you put your name behind your thoughts. And we'll talk about that. Okay? The people in the West, our culture, the freedom, women's rights, gay rights, things, shit like that, is superior to the Islam ideas, the Islamic ideas, which are counter to that. They are regressive. They are medieval and barbaric. And that's the point. So if you want to bring up racism, let's get to the heart of the matter. We are superior to you.
Yeah, your problem isn't racism. Your problem is me making a judgment call. And I can make a judgment call. I'm allowed to do that.
Yeah, this isn't about race. This isn't about like sexual preference. This isn't something that you're just born with. You can choose this. You can choose to, especially if you're an adult, you can choose to live this life and perpetuate this lifestyle and make excuses for it. And then you expect to not be judged for it.
Dude, sadly, what this is about is children claiming that they're awesome. I'm a Muslim girl and I'm super awesome. And, my identity is involved with some shady shit, and if I actually read the book, it's totally indefensible. but I'm still some, so yay
Yeah,
for me.
it sadly is that
Snowflakes.
small-minded. It really sadly is not any more deep than that.
There was that one girl we covered. There's kind of this rising tide of young white women converting to Islam. They don't know anything about Islam. They just do it because it's cool or whatever.
Yeah, it's the new communism. I mean, we have 20-something-year-old men and women, basically, that are coming up and saying, hip, like, all hip, like, oh yeah, I'm a Marxist, I'm a communist. The next is going to be I'm a Muslim, because it's edgy. It's the other edgy. So now we've got some guys saying I'm a Nazi, and some guys saying I'm a Muslim. And that's going to be the new interesting debacle in America.
Yeah, I mean, it's really controversial to say I'm superior to you. But you're not actually saying that. You're saying that secondhand, in a secondhand way.
Yeah.
You're actually saying my ideas. The ideas that I support and stand behind are superior to your idea.
Yeah.
And if you follow those ideas, then you are a representative of those ideas. So you can really say that I am superior to you.
Exactly, and I do think, like you said, you hit it. These are just kids. These are, I mean, she even says it's a group of millennials. There's not a person in this room over, like, 24.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like this weird, rhetoric of stereotypes, a lot of it is internalized because we're so.
How much of the media represents?
Oh my God, this is just the cross-pollination of regressive bullshit.
Yep.
This is like, I heard the word internalized referenced in a couple other conversations. Can I bring it into this one? I hear a lot of accusations of racism. Can we say that they're racist to us?
Yeah.
Fuck it. It's a good word. The word has power. Let's bring it in.
Yeah, where's that power at again? I'm looking for the power.
Clearly, the bigotry is internalized within them.
Is about influencing the way everyone sees Muslim women and girls versus the way Muslim women and girls see themselves.
The way that other people see Muslim women directly impacts the way Muslim women see themselves. When
I don't care how people see themselves. What really does matter is this perception. Everyone, literally everyone, thinks of themselves as the good guy.
Okay, here's what I love. You belong to a group, okay? A religion is a group of people. You are responsible, in part, for what that group does. Yeah. Okay, now, not personally, not on an individual level, but the reputation that group that you stand behind, obviously you have to defend the actions of that group. And if not, then separate yourself from that group. Okay, if I belong to the Parent-Teacher Association, and on the weekends, a couple of those members, a couple of the leaders decide to go behead people, I might reevaluate my membership in that group.
Yeah, they publicly behead
and
people.
I'm not gonna bitch at people who are aware of what members of my group do when they find out that I'm part of that group. You're gonna have to take the shrapnel. Sorry.
Yeah, or you're gonna have to become a reformer.
Muslim women changed their.
I mean, look, she's still got you're gonna be led around like the horse you are.
That's so true.
Their own perception of themselves, and they build up their self-confidence and their self-esteem and their worth and their feeling of belonging in society.
Okay, that's literally you're describing what a cult does.
I don't think they belong in our society.
But you're literally describing a cult. You're describing you're here for self-esteem. You're here to have this confirmation bias, constantly being told you're awesome, for being just who you are and believing these things that we've said to believe. What the fuck?
Look, if you have a problem with women, gays, Jews, democracy, freedom, then you don't belong here.
Yeah, then you're the problem.
Thomas Jefferson. So saith, I mean, this is an agreement that we have with each other. These are our values. If your values are in direct contrast to ours, then yeah, we got problems.
Yeah, they use the freedoms that they're afforded here to advocate against those freedoms.
Yes. And they do that all throughout Scandinavia. I mean, and England, the whole thing. It's disastrous.
They just did that in London. They hijacked the democratic system, and they got in a Muslim mayor who has very pro-refugee views, just going to bring in more of his voting base, and this is going to be a never-ending cycle.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's going to completely transform the way that they act and the way that they contribute to the world around them.
But let's back up.
So being told, hey, we need to be self-reflective and acknowledge there might be something wrong or that you might be subjugated, and then you go, I I think I might be subjugated. And then someone comes along and says, no, 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 you're not subjugated. You're free. You're as free as anyone else. You haven't been subjugated. The media is telling you you've been subjugated. That's why you feel subjugated.
Did this just turn into a porno? They got their asses up in the air.
Well, you know, the fact is that's why they separate prayer meetings at mosques, is because of the prayer ritual. And men would look up and see the booties, and that's just not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Good point.
And that's why they cover up.
Yes.
The whole point of covering up was to not inspire men to rape them. And by the way, if you want to talk rape stats and the rape stats in the Muslim world compared to everybody else, it's not going to go well for you.
Not at all.
How racist.
When it comes to the perception of Muslim women, some people just can't get past the headscarf.
I wonder why.
They're classifying these women.
The political activists.
They're classifying these people now.
I like how they're not going to talk about the burqa.
No.
It's
No,
the
no,
headscarf.
just the headscarf, which doesn't predominate.
The burqa, you got a point on that. Headscarf, though, no, that's just decorative. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's
We're
fine. It's fine.
Yeah, it's not a symbol of oppression in any way.
No.
Presidential candidates are openly saying racist statements, Islamophobic statements, and anti-immigrant statements in order to get...
Yeah, God forbid an American president want to focus on America. I know, it's evil. It's evil.
Well, wait a minute. He's talking about what Trump said about Mexicans, but he talked about bad immigrants.
Yes.
Can we recognize that there's such a thing as undesirable people?
And that
coming
statistically, those undesirable people cannot seek the legal means to enter our country, and would then statistically have a higher distribution among illegal immigrants.
Mm-hmm.
You see how that works? Yeah.
The best and brightest are not always beating down the doors to come in. What did the Statue of Liberty say? Bring us your scumbags.
Yeah,
and your
basically,
poor...
bring us your human
clueless
filth.
shits.
That we need to take that little pin down. I think that was the French playing a joke on us.
We need to change that. Bring us your educated and your sane.
Yeah.
Bring us your Nobel Prize winners. How about that? People with skills that we actually require.
We see, Devin. Are you saying all? Because if you're not, then I have to think 0%. It's just the world I live in.
votes. For any woman who decides that she wants to wear hijab for a religious reason, you know, that's a very personal...
Oh, the Arab American Association of New York, the fucking original cancer.
Youth organizer, please.
Yes.
Clueless. A clueless child, a girl.
Yes, these are the guys that fucking sued Aladdin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Arab American.
Yep.
I mean,
that's your
at least
information.
they're not claiming to be Islamic in that title, which is
no,
I
just
guess
Arab.
The Arabs were doing worse shit than the Muslims did.
Yeah, even though arguably this woman's not Arab, she's Pakistani, but that's fine. She's a good representative, and most white people are so stupid they can't really tell. So.
How about this? Where they cut off your ear if they don't like your face. It's barbaric, but hey, it's home.
FYI, when it comes to that, my original VHS copy has that lyric. I actually went back and checked.
Nice.
My original VHS has it, and then the DVD release does not. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's a real...
Damn it. Fuck you, Disney.
Decision, but when you step out on the street, like that personal decision that you made for your religion now becomes like a political statement.
Abir is an activist. She's Muslim, a feminist.
An activist. Wait a minute. Do you realize how you can do almost nothing, and you could be calling yourself an activist?
Yeah.
Like, how many hashtags does it take before you're self-declaring yourself to be an activist? Like what? It's absurd.
Seriously.
I also she's like, oh, now I feel like my headscarf has become a political statement. You made it a political statement.
Yep.
Yes, you're doing a press conference right now about it.
Yeah. Do you know who's also been oppressed through history and has head coverings? I'm just wondering. And do you know they don't make political statements about their yarmulkes? I'm just wondering.
Excuse me. What immigrant rights are human rights? Explain to me that. First of all humans have rights, but what are immigrant rights?
They are something that are being fought for only in Western countries because no other nation would ever consider it.
But you're either a citizen or you're not. Are they talking about citizens? Like people who have immigrated are now citizens?
Yes.
They have every right of a citizen. So what are we talking about?
Yeah, that's what they're saying, is that they want immigrants to have civil rights, the exact same citizenry rights, like the right to vote and the kind of things like that.
Well, that means the rights of the citizen are irrelevant at that point.
It's like, I mean, that sign should read "blow up the nation state."
That's what these people want. I mean, you know that, right? These guys are internationalists. Yeah, these people are internationalists. They hate the idea of a nation.
Yeah, you have a lifeboat. You're doing well over there.
Yeah.
Let me swamp that.
Exactly.
I mean, it's like.
Exactly. I mean, basically, we need to end this space race now and get the fuck off the planet.
Oh yeah. Let me swamp your lifeboat and let's have you pay for it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's on your dime. Good.
Yep. They are fighting for all the free stuff. That is what Reading Ren said. They are fighting for all the free stuff. Yes,
They're fighting
indeed.
for all those human rights that they can then piss on once they get here.
Welfare rights for immigrants. That should be the sign.
Yep, pretty much.
And she makes the choice to wear a headscarf.
That's a really big experience that a lot of Muslim women have. You always feel that there's like a target on your, not on your back, but on your head.
And there is this sort of, I think, assumption.
Funny you should mention targets, because now we're talking violence and terrorism,
Yeah.
which leads me back to Muslims. Funny enough.
Yeah, like it felt strange. I put on this piece of clothing voluntarily out of my own free will, and then people looked at me differently.
Nobody cares about her headscarf. Man, she is so important.
Yeah, no one cares enough to be like I'm putting a target on her. I'm coming for her. Like, no. But don't be offended when people look at you and might draw some conclusions.
She's so special, man.
I know.
On some parts where people would say, well, are you truly free if you're wearing a headscarf?
For me, feminism means allowing every single woman to come into her own identity on her own. That can
Okay, well, there are many feminists out there that would disagree with you.
Yeah, and that's why people are adverse to the term feminism.
Yes.
This has nothing to do with equal rights between the genders. Nothing. Coming into my own identity as a woman, what is that? Come up with a new word for whatever you just said.
Tapping into my inner power.
Yeah, and we have a problem with the identity you've chosen.
Yes.
Because it actually has documents behind it, and we've read them. And that's a problem now, because we know more about your supposed identity than you do.
Yeah, which means
So
perhaps you
sorry
need a
that-
new identity.
Yes, and we are the bearer of bad news, and that news is you're now going to be saddled with cognitive dissonance, because I'm about to explain to you why it's absurd for you to call yourself a Muslim feminist. And it's not going to go well for you, because it's not going to be a powwow of other Muslim girls sitting there nodding at each other and applauding each other and saying how awesome you are. It's going to be from a sane person who has reason and facts behind them.
They can't handle
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, I had a thought too. I lost it. Never mind. Let's go.
that.
could be for a woman who wants to wear hijab, or who wants to look a certain way or wants to follow a certain belief. I want to respect her in her decision to do that.
I don't respect it. I don't respect. In
Yeah,
fact,
no.
here's what it is. I respect you enough to not respect your identity and your decision to follow Islam and that cult.
Yeah, and not pander to you all the time.
Yep. That's what's interesting. My disrespect for you is actually a sign of respect.
Yeah, they don't get that though.
So my disapproval of the black crime stats in my nation is a sign of respect that I have to the blacks in my nation.
Yeah, because I know that they're
And people will never get that. They will never understand that. They would rather dehumanize them and treat them as incapable of doing better.
Well, it's kind of odd because they don't seem to realize that when you do that, you've actually placed yourself in a position of superiority.
Yep.
You're saying inherently I'm better. That's how I'm able to help.
Devin.
Yeah, that's how I can help. I can help because I'm a better person.
Yeah.
We can't expect much from the poor. Come on.
And also, if you actually care about the things that you value, like freedom and equal rights and shit like that, now is the time. These are the battle lines being drawn. You have to engage this fight with that girl.
Yeah.
Get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Get messy with that shit.
Basically.
Because if you don't rock the boat in that situation, you're a pussy and you actually don't stand up for the things like freedom of speech. If you can't understand why an 18-year-old Nazi on YouTube getting banned from YouTube is a problem, then you actually don't believe in freedom of speech, and fuck you, you're a fag.
Kamala Khan is it?
Oh, fuck me.
Oh, this is bad. This is about to get really bad.
I Forgot they made Miss Marvel fucking Muslim. Oh god.
Oh no, oh god, no.
A young 16-year-old girl. She has wavy, crazy hair, a little bump in her nose, brown skin. Her powers are polymorph powers.
Kamala Khan is the first.
What the hell?
She's tapping into her
So-
powers, dog.
Finally, somebody understands me. See, I knew I was awesome my whole life. I mean, I'm a Muslim girl. I'm fucking rad. And I have a circle of friends, and they're Muslim girls too, and so we can acknowledge and see the oddness among us. But really, I always felt I was more than human. I'm actually like kind of like a superhero. So finally, I see something in the media that really speaks to my personal reality.
Exactly. It's just ego stroking.
Oh God. Who's the bad guy in this comic?
Oh, I get.
Sam Harris.
Yeah, it's got to be a white guy, right? It's just got to be.
Yeah.
Surely.
From American character to have her own Marvel comic series.
Islamophobe.
Yes, Captain Islamophobe.
The first thing that she morphed into was her idol, Carol Danvers, who is the opposite of her in every single way. She's blonde, blue.
How the hair is animated the same. It has the same waviness,
boo-hoo
quote
for-
unquote.
But, you know, in the end, our character learns that it's not about this white, blonde-haired beauty standard. You really need to embrace who you are, and if you're a hook-nosed, brown-skinned Muslim chick, then that's the super-duper coolest thing to be.
Yeah.
Look at Captain America's face.
It's amazing.
He's enamored.
Wide and tall, and that was a conscious statement we were making, was saying that the images that we see out there telling us.
Why did you make that like oddly religious?
Wait a minute. Are you telling me the images you see in a culture that used to be 90-something% white, it was 85% white in 1980, and is still primarily white? So there's a bunch of white images in the media to sell shit to other white people? And that's the evil conspiracy that's supposed to like try to subjugate you and say that you're not this awesome, super brown Muslim chick that you know you are?
Basically.
Fuck off.
Yeah, basically.
Such pathetic drivel.
These are the images that we are supposed to look like, because those are the images that are the.
Is she having a herpes outbreak at an unfortunate time?
You're not supposed to look like that. It's just,
No.
that's commerce. That's business. People identify with that because that's who we are over there. I kind of like if we went back to your country of origin, I guess there's not going to be any blonde-haired, blue-eyed women in the ads and in the magazines. You think?
Exactly.
Let's go take a field trip.
Exactly.
Yeah, no one's saying. Find me one person who says you must look this way.
Shit.
No, these people are just self-obsessed, and when they don't see themselves in something, they get mad. Which I've never done.
Yes.
I mean, I grew up in the fucking hip-hop community. I've
24/7 self-glorification is what we're witnessing.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
look,
all they want.
They're doing it here. Okay, Miss Marvel is Muslim now. That's fine. I don't inherently have a problem with that. They can do whatever they want over there. Okay, well, sure, but you know, like I don't have a problem with them making a creative decision. Basically.
Yes, I understand. Neither do I. Right? No, you can make a Muslim character, but I have a problem with the Muslim character. Like I can argue with that Muslim character about.
But I do respect going that route rather than just. But they're still bitching that other characters aren't that way. Make your own character.
Okay, so wait, let me ask you a question. What would make them happy? What would make black people happy in terms of Oscar nominees on a given year? Is the answer 13.2%? And for Muslims, is the answer 1%? Because if it's not, fuck you.
Yeah, basically, you're just talking shit at that point. You just want attention.
Chest thumping, chest beating. That's all it is. Fucking silverback gorilla chest beating is what we're watching.
Mm-hmm.
Most strong and beautiful and successful, and the images that are demonized happen to look like me.
Like Kamala, her creator's son.
Oh, except for all of the representation that already
It's not
exists.
happens to look like you. That's the point. She just missed the entire point.
Yeah.
The fact that there are bad images of Muslims in the news, there's nothing coincidental about it. It has everything to do with the fact that they're Muslim.
They're acting like this is some kind of like concerted conspiracy. Like, no, they're actually reporting things that are really happening. This isn't made up.
Yes. Right. I know. It's great. And by the way, it's not. It just. What happens? It happens that a bunch of them have the same skin color as you. I mean, it's not a coincidence either. I mean, there's a reason why the Ottomans and the whole empire spread in that region. But Muslims of all colors do fucked up shit. So, you know, some Boko Haram doesn't look like you. Yeah, Al-Shabaab doesn't look like you, but they're still the same problem as some of the ideas you hold.
Yeah.
And the group that you identify with.
Anna is a Jersey girl who happens to be Muslim.
When you are representing a minority, people want you to start changing all of the stereotypes of that minority. They want you to do all of the things, like talk about.
It's a third of the fucking world. What are you talking about? A minority is
even Ben Affleck could admit that.
Dude, you know, as a minority, that white blonde-haired woman that you just saw.
Yeah.
Like a few 100 million of them.
Yeah.
Of those
I have a question. Why do you think?
Out.
Why? My question being, do you think that has become a symbol? Is it because it's uncommon? Do you think people value uncommon things? Do you know why many people value redheads? For the very same reason. They're uncommon. And people...
Yes, what I love, she does not mention in America. So she says, when you're a minority in America, like, wait, you're not a minority. Literally, you're not. So it's just a desperate attempt to hold on to the victimhood.
Yeah.
If I say, look, I'm part of a group of billions of people, there's tons of people who are Muslim out in the world, then what? Oh God, how can I spin that narrative? How can I appear to be the oppressed minority, the victim of racism?
Yeah, and then she's also like, oh, there seems to be this expectation for me to like represent this minority. It's like, don't act like you guys don't cherish that.
Seriously.
Like, really, that is your bread and butter.
Yeah, and I mean, if her home country is Pakistan, what do you think the comic books in Pakistan are like? I mean, do you think that the people on the soap operas in Pakistan are not Pakistani?
Yeah.
Is she going to complain about that? Is she ever going to mention that?
No, they don't talk about the advertising practices of mainland China or Japan or any of the functioning African nations, because you got to presume they're functioning to have advertising.
Yes, it's only when they can milk out a perceived grievance out of it that they're going to mention it. Right. So Japanese people, there's a lot of people of Japanese descent in Japanese advertising. A lot, like a ton. Can you believe that shit?
Yeah.
I sympathize. I empathize with the Japanese woman. No, I empathize with the white woman in Japan who's got to look at all that media coverage. Shit.
Yeah, that poor girl.
She is in a bad spot.
That poor girl. I don't know how she gets through her day.
So oppressed.
Child marriage, talk about terrorism, and that's coming from a place that assumes that Muslims are all one kind of people. We wanted to...
Wow.
Oh, right. So can we just put you on record as saying you're against acts of terrorism and against honor killing? Because not all of you are, and shocking percentages of you are not. So I would like to know if you would publicly, admonish and be against all these things that I need you to be against if you hope to have my respect.
Yeah.
If you take identity in a religion that has a lot of baggage, and that religion says certain things, and it does condone a lot of the actions that we see. Yes, I do expect you to condemn that. Otherwise, if you say that I'm a Muslim, I'm going to assume that you follow the doctrines of Islam.
Look. I know a lot of bronies, okay? Bronies are everywhere. They're taking over. The bronies are legion. Okay, not all bronies are cloppers, meaning cloppers, they masturbate to horse porn. Cartoon horses and real horses. Now, if I meet a brony, I might ask him, I might inquire at some point if he's a clopper, if he's sexually turned on by horse porn.
Yeah.
Because I know that many of them are.
Yes.
Now, I also know, here's two things that I know at the same time. Okay, amazing, I know. I also know that not all of them do that. So, if you're one of them that doesn't do that, still please acknowledge that we're in a world where we know that many of you do that.
Yes.
Do you understand? It's like, why is that an unreasonable request?
It's the exact same thing because they've taken the label on. It's not just I'm a fan of My Little Pony, it's I'm a brony. Oh, well, that kind of has some baggage.
Yep.
What do you mean by
Words mean something. If you call yourself a Muslim, it actually means something.
You don't just get to have identity in something. You look at me. This is just another term I can add before my name.
And it gives me power.
This means something.
And it gives me power in society. Implicitly, it gives me power.
Yeah. Listen to me. I'm a Muslim girl.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an oppressed Muslim girl who
Exactly.
suffers racism, and I suffer this media bias against me. And somebody once mentioned terrorism to me. Can you believe the horror?
So much racism.
tell a story to remind people that they have the ability to choose their own identity.
There we go again. How many videos? Is this the new narrative we're dealing with? Because they're just going to rap now. I know the time scale. Is this just the new thing? They're just going to start saying that you choose your identity and then still call people racist for a choice you're saying you openly made?
Yeah. So choose your identity, and then guess what I'm going to choose to do? I'm going to choose to criticize the ideas that you stand behind.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Why would there be something wrong with that? Why is this an issue for people? If this is the case, you're self-admitting that the case is this is your chosen identity, and I'm not supposed to have anything to say about that. At least the homosexuals have said it's not a choice. They're smart enough to say that it's not a chosen identity. But you're willing to say it's a choice?
Yeah, it's crazy. And man,
it can't be bigoted if it's a choice. It just can't.
And here's the thing. I don't care what you look like. I don't care how many people like you are in a given region. However you want to try to gerrymander this conversation, that doesn't matter to me. What you actually think and what you actually do is what matters to me. And guess what? It's a red flag to me when you say you're a Muslim. And again, I have every reason in the world to say that. And everybody knows that too. I mean, the cat is out of the bag. This is not some mysterious religion from the East that we don't know much about, like Shintoism. Like, who could talk for 5 minutes on that?
Yeah.
Nobody. We have no fucking clue. Okay, but we know about Islam now. Oh, you've made yourself known.
Exactly. You stood up and now you're being counted. What do you want?
Your ideas are being evaluated, and we find them displeasing.
Oh, but God forbid the tone of the conversation isn't negative and condemning towards you, because we all know you're super duper awesome, and it's all about you. So let's acknowledge that. We have to stroke that ego before we can get to any real conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately. It's like the Australian thing where they have to stand up and be like, oh, I know we're occupying native land.
Yeah.
No, fuck
Right.
off.
Right. Always will be Aboriginal land. No, it always will not be. They were conquered.
They lost.
They lost.
That's what happens.
It's over. Yeah. You know who else lost? Bernie Sanders. Guess what happened to Bernie Sanders? Reese voted for Bernie Sanders. Then he took a quiz asking who should you vote for. Guess what the result was? Reese.
The result was Hillary Clinton.
Thank you very much. That is the willful ignorance of a young man who is still learning, still developing his brainwaves.
I'm sorry.
But we have hope for
I'll
Reese.
learn. I'll listen, Master. We'll figure this out.
But just all I need is you need to accept defeat on Bernie, just like the Aboriginals need to accept defeat.
I accept defeat at this point. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, now we'll have a Trump presidency.
Foe vanquished by Mr. Tracy.
Yeah. Now we'll have a Trump presidency. It'll be neat.
Oh, Christ. Not happening.
That does seem to be where it's going, doesn't it?
That's what all the polls say.
Oh, Jesus.
Every poll so far has said if Hillary Clinton goes against Donald Trump will win.
No. That, first of all, polls in the past have said that Hillary, it's a slam dunk, she's going to wipe him out.
Yeah.
Now, there's always a bump. You always get a bump when you are the nominee. So he has the primary bump. The more people hear from him, when the general public listens to this guy talk, he's not going to go over well with large segments. And when I say large segments, I mean blacks and Mexicans and women.
Yeah.
So that's not going to work. Also, the regressives, anybody in a poll right now, if you're a regressive, you're not going to throw your hat in for Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
You're going to be a bitch and a principled mess of a human being and say, oh, no, I wanted the Jew. Okay, that's not happening. And they need a few months to go through the process of guilt. Oh, no,
yeah,
no,
well,
trauma.
A good portion of those guys are saying they're going to vote for Trump. It was Bernie or Trump.
Yeah, and that's absurd. And that's the definition of regressivism. It's liberal people who claim to be liberal acting in illiberal ways. And voting for Trump, if you're a Democrat and anywhere on the left, is an abortion of an action. You deserve to be chiseled into some statue, your name, in shame. Because, I mean, and that woman who had the period from earlier needs to squat on top of that name and pee blood all over you. I mean, this is awful. You are disgraced if you're thinking about voting for Trump. And I will automatically ban anybody who votes for Trump on my channel. It's going to be...
That's quite a few of your fans.
Yeah. It's going to be, I'll have like 5 left. Dude, fuck Trump. And I will start making anti-Trump videos if I have to. If I see polls in 3 months from now and they scare me.
Yeah.
If it's not a 10-point margin, I'm making videos daily.
Well, I look forward to those.
I look forward to it as well. Oh, we have Izzy in here.
Child leave.
Izzy is gone. Okay. Well, I guess I guess we should just end the show. We went a little longer, but it was fun, and we have Devin here. For those, I don't know who hasn't, but check out his channel, I guess. You all came from him. Anyway,
Yeah.
Subscribe if you enjoyed this. Thanks to Hagbard for running this shit.
Of course.
Devin, you're great. We'll have you back anytime. It was a lot of fun.
Awesome, and I loved it, and it was fun for me. It was fun for you.
Nice. All right. Until next time, good night.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.